Welcome everyone to the last day of our international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management and arts, ICCRESMA 2026, created and powered by Center for Research and Training, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India. I would now like to introduce our conference co-convener, Professor Dr. Darshana Desai.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me introduce you to the conference co-convener. Professor Darshana has 21 years of experience in academia and the IT industry. She is a speaker and mentor and has delivered expert sessions and FDPs on artificial intelligence, data science, augmented analytics, and research methodology at national and international forums. She has gained 2 BCUD research grants from SPPU. Her work reflects a commitment to advancing digital transformation in education and empowering women-led research initiatives. Her academic and research expertise spans data science and analytics, machine learning, visualization tools, research methodology, etc. She serves as an editorial board member for international journals with Taylor and Francis USA and Mathematics and Computer Science Journal SPG USA, and as a reviewer for reputed publications including IEEE, Springer, and Sage. Currently, she is serving as a professor in the MCA department at Indira College of Engineering and Management, ICEM, Pune, Maharashtra. She has been instrumental in curriculum design, leading NAC and NBA accreditation process, and establishing industry academic collaborations for student internships and placements. I now invite our conference co-convener, Professor Dr. Darshana, to deliver the welcome note.
Happy morning to everyone. On behalf of Presidium National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, I heartily welcome our Honorable Conference Chair and Chief Patron, Karmavir Maharatna Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Founder and Chairman of NFED, Conference Director and Patron, Dr. K. Ramaya, Executive Chairman and Director of NFED, Conference Convener, Dr. V. Sunita, Professor and Head, Department of Geology, Yogi Vemnala University, Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, India, and conference co-conveners, Dr. Suvashri Suvadarshini, Associate Professor in English, Department of Basic Science and Humanities, Silicon Valley University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. And Dr. G. Shubhalakshmi, Assistant Professor and Head in Charge, School of Law, Pondicherry University in India. I express my warm welcome to our honorable international keynote speakers of today, Dr. Sita Lakshmi, Associate Professor and Assistant Head, Tamil Nadu, Department of Asian Language and Cultures, National Institute of Education, Nanyang University, and TU Singapore, and Ms. Devika Rani Vimal, co-founder and Chief Operating Officer, LTT Global Communities, SND BND, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I extend my warm, profound welcome to our today's honorable national keynote speakers, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, Pro Vice Chancellor, ITM Sikkim University, Skill University, and Professor and Director, ITM Business School, Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Sai Kumari, Professor and Head, Department of Management Studies, Department of Civil Engineering, Sri Krishna College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. And Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Head in Charge of Computer Application and Director, Data Processing Center, the Tamil Nadu, Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Chennai, and I also heartily welcome all the organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, distinguished guest speakers, session chairs, paper presenters, and participants to this 3-day
Darshana ma'am, you're not audible. So I once again welcome everyone and wish you a great success in all your academic and professional endeavors. Welcome to this international conference.
Yes, ma'am. Now you can continue.
Okay. So before continuing, let me take a screenshot with all the available dignitaries or participants. So everyone kindly switch on your video. Everyone kindly switch on your video. And just give me a moment. Let me take the screenshot. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah, thank you. So let me now welcome our distinguished keynote speaker for today, Dr. V. Srividya. Dr. Srividya is currently the professor and head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. She has made important contributions to geopolymer technology, mainly investigated the flexural behavior of ferrogeopolymer composite slabs, properties of mortar with zero Portland cement for ferrocement applications. She has 8 scholars completed PhD under her guideship and 7 scholars are pursuing. Apart from teaching and research, she is also involved in material testing and consultancy works in the Structural Engineering Lab of Sri Krishna College of Technology, Coimbatore. She is involved in various outreach activities and has served as resource person for various programs. She is the editorial board member and reviewer for various international journals. She has received funding for organizing seminars, workshops from various agencies like AICTE, DRDO, CSIR, ISRO, TNSCST, etc. She has received various awards for her contribution towards teaching and research as Best Faculty, Outstanding Scientist, Research Excellence, and Women Educator. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Srividya, to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Vinay sir, and good morning, all the respected dignitaries. It's my pleasure to give the technical session and on this wonderful conference on contemporary research in engineering, science, and management. And ma'am, just a minute, shall I give the presentation? I am just uploading the presentation. Will you please 1 minute time for me?
Ma'am, actually your bandwidth is low. Your voice is breaking. Can you please check your network connection? It's showing your bandwidth is low. Yeah, your voice is breaking. Yes, ma'am, you can start your screen share, ma'am.
Yes. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So good morning, professors. The topic of my presentation is Sustainable Built Environment through Green Construction Materials.
Ma'am, kindly switch on to full screen mode, ma'am. Full screen.
Yeah. I hope it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So we know that as a civil engineer, and which is very much associated with society, we know pretty well that a lot of construction activities and infrastructure development is happening throughout the world. So the construction industry, we can say it is one of the largest consumers of natural resources and energy. So the conventional construction practices, like in one aspect, it is giving us a lot of positive impact inputs, whereas on the other side, we have to find an alternative for what are the negative impacts of this sort of construction materials, which is harmful to us in society. In that aspect, the construction practices are leading to high carbon emissions, so resources depletion, environmental degradation. So the sustainable construction, it is aiming to minimize these negative aspects of this, material, which is really harmful to the environmental impacts. Whereas at the same time, we need to enhance the building performance also. So the sustainable built environment is not, but they are construction materials, like which meaning is it requires less energy. That means we have to think about, or we have to find out alternative materials which are producing less energy, at the same time which should behave well or in par with the materials. So the emission rate should be less, and at the same time it should be safe for human health. So the built environment is one which will use the resources effectively and which is minimizing the environmental impact and enhances the occupant health as well as comfort. So at the same time, the economic aspect, the durability of the material and the social well-being also we have to take hand in hand. So it generally integrates the materials, energy efficient design, water conservation and waste reduction. So generally the building accounts for 40 to 45% of global energy consumption, and in that 30% of carbon dioxide emissions are there. Because of that, the main challenges happening are climate change, urbanization, scarcity of natural resources. So compensate on this in the sustainability aspect, we need to have that reduced environmental footprint, life cycle cost should be lower, and there are few materials which are giving this option. So the green construction materials are responsible material that are their life cycle. So the characteristics of the material are very, very important. It should have low embodied energy and it should be recyclable or renewable. And the major aspect is it has days, we can say it was like 100 years, we could say, but nowadays, like that is restricted and it is happening within 20 to 30 years. So we have to think about how we can enhance the durability or life of the structures. And it has to be non-toxic also. The materials whichever we are using as the green material should be non-toxic as well as energy efficient. So the life cycle of green material, what sort of materials we have to choose is, for example, we can go ahead with fly ash. Fly ash is one of the byproducts which are getting from the thermal power plant. So we can say in and around Coimbatore means the nearest place is Metu thermal power plant. So during that process, the bottom ash is collected and we can use it as such. And there are two types of fly ash, we can say, depending upon the calcium content, actually CaO content. One is class C fly ash as well as class F fly ash. And earlier days, this fly ash was used as a dump material. That means we used to fill the pots, or it is used as a filling material. But a lot of research which happened in earlier, we can say that the amount of fly ash, how far you can use this fly ash in your concrete. And there is a term which is known as high volume fly ash content. Whenever the amount of fly ash is nearly 50 to 60%, we can categorize it as high volume fly ash. So in my work, I completely replaced cement with fly ash, that is geopolymer concept. That was the technology which I utilized for my research work. And especially in Australia and other countries, like we can see, they are using this geopolymer material as a construction material, especially in bridge construction, culvert, and as well as all the load-bearing material. That means slabs and other structural components, they can make it. And another term or another materials or structure which we did is, so we know pretty well about the scarcity of water or how to store water. Scarcity of water is one aspect, as well as how storage content. So every time we cannot depend upon this concrete tank and other things. There is an alternative material which is known as ferrocement. So ferrocement, it is nothing but a mesh actually. So the mesh is used as the reinforcing material, and instead of that cement paste, we use this fly ash, and few chemicals are added in fly ash to enhance that binding property of cement. And there are other materials which are used as an alternative sustainable material. Is another, we'll call it as GGBS, that is ground granulated blast furnace slag. We are having this sugarcane, that is bagasse ash, also we can use. So the first life cycle of green material emphasize on the extraction of raw material, the manufacturing and the process, the transportation, and the end of life. That means that it should follow that reuse, recycle, and that disposal process also it should be. So this is the life cycle, and this is the pictorial representation of how we are utilizing that. First of all, the processing and the manufacturing, then it is transported, then it is used in construction activity, as well as retrofitting. Retrofitting, or we can call it as rehabilitation. Whenever a member is some cracks or some failures are there, this materials, this green material, we can use it as a retrofitting material, and we have to make use of this material, and we can evaluate its use as well as maintenance. Once after demolition of this also, we can dispose the same, and if any treatment is required, it can be done, and we can again reuse. So this is the cycle process which represents. So these are the natural resources and how it is used in your construction activity. So the types of green construction materials are classified as recycled material, renewable materials are there, industrial byproducts. So recycled material, we'll call it as C&D waste actually, construction and demolition waste. We know that at the same time construction activities are happening, at the same time demolition works are also happening. Usually this demolished debris and other things, it is thrown out to the places, but we can use it as recycled material. So as instead of post segregate, that means we normal term as jelly, instead of that jelly, we can use this construction and demolition waste. We can use that material instead of our fine aggregate also. And industrial byproducts, as we mentioned, like fly ash, ground granulated blast furnace lab. As Coimbatore is a leading, lot of foundry units are there. We did lot of research work in foundries, and especially because we know pretty well that sand is nowadays it's very difficult to get because river depletion is a major concern. So there are alternative materials which are required to, make use of the about fine aggregate. So one such aspect is, we call it as M sand, right? Manufactured sand. P sand is there. So the sand which is obtained from the quarry dust, that is done a lot of process, we can use that. But again, the drawback of this is every time we need to wash that, because it contains a lot of organic as well as inorganic impurities that has to be drained out. So we need to wash it and use. And when that sort of materials are using, the first, as in a term which is related to civil, we can say the workability. That means the easiness, how we can work with this sort of material. So sometimes that mixing will be very difficult. Then we need to go for some chemical agents to improve that easiness, etc. So when we are using this construction and demolition based, we can compensate that aspect. Again, that byproducts like foundry sand. So the foundry sand we can categorize into different zones, just like the sand. So the sand is classified into different zones like zone 1, 2, 3, etc. depending upon the usage, like whether we are using this for plastering material or whether we are using for the laying of paved or apron, etc. So the materials are behaving well in this we can use, and natural building materials also. So the ways, this is the example which again we are using. Another material is silica fume also we can use. And so the benefits of these types of byproducts are, it is reducing the industrial waste. At the same time, concrete durability or life cycle can be enhanced, or the number of years the building is going to sustain can be enhanced. The main aspect is the carbon dioxide emission during the manufacturing of cement, that can be lowered when we are moving with this type of material. So the examples given for the alternative materials are geopolymer concrete, blended cement, lime-based binders. Because earlier days, instead of cement, people were using lime actually. So lime mortar. So lime-based binders can be used. The positive impact is we can have 60 to 80% reduction in carbon emission, and it is enhancing the chemical resistance as well as durability. Apart from this material, there are other materials like we can say red sand or earth-based materials like rammed earth. So nowadays the usage of this rammed earth is very high, and we can say most of the resort and other things people are preferring to have built with this type of material like red mud. Then adobe bricks, CSEB, there is another one, there is earth block, compressed stabilized earth block. The mud is taken, that is put inside the mold, and instead of that brick, like clay, we can go ahead with this compressed stabilized earth block. So the advantages is it is available locally it is available. The comfort, that means we can have that weathering effect during the, pretty well that during summer the temperature is rising up to nearly 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, especially in this region, southern region, 30, 40, more than 40. So when we are using this type of material, we can have that thermal comfort during the daytime as well as nighttime. And the processing energy for this particular materials is very less. So in energy efficiency, the green materials are having a very good role. So it is acting as an insulation material. That means it is reducing heating and cooling load subsequently. And as a roofing materials also we can use it. So the phase change of materials will adjust the indoor temperature. So as far as the energy efficiency is concerned, we can have the lower operational energy consumption when we are going ahead with these type of material. Another way is we can save the water or water conservation through these types of material, because whenever we are having a material, we will call it as a permeable material. There is a concrete also, pervious concrete. That means it will absorb the water and it will release when and where it is required. So for the permeable pavement construction also, we can use this type of sustainable material. And whenever that concrete construction and other things are happening, that we can reduce the amount of water also. Then for rainwater harvesting, another important aspect as far as the water conservation is concerned is rainwater harvesting components also we can use these types of material. So the groundwater recharge will be more whenever we are going ahead with this type of material, and it will reduce the stormwater runoff, and it is one of the efficient water management system. So in IEQ, there's a impact is, so it volatile organic compound, that air pollution inside, that is reducing the indoor air pollution. So example, we can use some paints like VOC, that is volatile organic paints, which will give us that warmth or that which will reduce the pollution. And we can use this material as the flooring materials also. So the working space will be having a better environment whenever we are using this type of green sustainable materials. The economic benefits of these materials are, it will reduce the life cycle cost, So maintenance expenses can be reduced, the value of the building can be increased, energy saving aspects can be increased, and the long-term energy savings we can benefit out of this. Few materials, the initial cost, whenever we are talking about the geopolymer materials and other things, the cost cost addition is a few chemicals we have to, that means sodium hydroxide, sodium silicate, etc. But when we are comparing the life cycle of that one, comparing to the initial cost, it is huge actually. So initial cost may be higher, but life cycle cost is lower in this type of material. So social benefits, we can say the comfort of the occupants is the main thing. So everybody's dream is to construct a dwelling for that. So the occupant comfort is very, very important. Second one, better health and productivity. So development, urban, as well as the smart cities, like we know pretty well, Coimbatore is expanding. Just an example, like smart city development. So a lot of roles are of these materials are there in the smart city development. And in green industry, like we can have this job creation in green industry. And there are, of course, there are certain challenges. The challenges, as we mentioned earlier, initial cost will be higher. The lack of awareness, even though these few materials are there in research side, in practical, like still there is a hesitation from the industry to adopt this technology. So availability, that limited availability, we need to rectify. So skilled labor, especially when we are going ahead with this type of material, the technique of applying this material needs some skills from the labor. So there are regulations compared to normal construction regulations. We need to have certain regulations for that. So to start with, we are having some Indian standard codal provisions to use this material. So as a citizen, as a person, we need to frame certain codal provisions, or what are the guidelines to be adopted in that, and how we can strategies to, or what are the main strategies to promote these materials is, like government can announce certain incentives and policies. Who is using this, they can be encouraged. And certification system, of course, there are green building certification systems like Griha is there. So the awareness and education to the public as well as to the persons, technical persons, is much needed. More and more research is needed in that. Standardization of green materials is another important promotion aspect. So as we mentioned about green building rating system, we can have these certifications like LEED, GRIHA, BREEAM, and we can increase the sustainable material use using these types of certification systems, and they can act as a benchmark for the better performance. So future scope is, we can have the net zero energy buildings, circular economy in construction that can be uh, and advanced sustainable composites can be used. And we can integrate smart materials, like nowadays, like a lot of in buildings also, we are going ahead with a lot of automation technologies. So the green material with the smart material, or smart and green material integration is also very much needed. So to conclude about this one, we can say this green construction materials are essential for sustainable development. They reduce the environmental impact. At the same time, the performance and the durability are also enhanced. So the adoption is leading to environmental protection, economic efficiency, social well-being, and sustainable built environment. So these are the few points which I would like to present in front of the August gathering.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the very insightful and informative session. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So I now express my warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Ms. Devika Rani Vimal. Ms. Rani Vimal is driven by innovation and an unwavering commitment to making education accessible for all. Through her digital learning platforms recognized by the United Nations, OECD, and the ITU's partner to connect, she now supports millions advancing 7 UN Sustainable Development Goals. Beyond education, part of her earnings, fund initiatives that uplift women, youth, people with special needs, and refugees, equipping them with tools for a brighter future. Her accolades include the Entrepreneurial Excellence Award from NFED, Asia's Inspirational Female Business Leader, Top 100 AWS ASEAN Women Founders, Global Women Leader 2024, and the Global Sustainable Icon High Award. She also serves as Distinguished Fellow and Honorary Corporate Advisor for NFED and was recently appointed Goodwill Ambassador for Malaysia by the Sri Lanka UN Friendship Organization Global Federation. She is the co-founder and Chief Operating Officer of LTT Global Communications Private Limited, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Ms. Devika Rani Memel, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you, Madam Ramya. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you to the chairperson, Prof. Dr. Ganesan, and the board of NFED as well. I'm really privileged to do the keynote at today's ICCRESMA 29 to 31st of January here, powered by CRT, NFED. And I think this is my third year doing this, so it's really a privilege. I'll just share my screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to view my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so my topic today is about bridging purpose and progress, holistic innovation for people, planet, and prosperity, right? So let me minimize this. Okay. So actually, first of all, let me tell good morning to respected researchers, innovators, educators, and change makers. Today, we actually stand at a powerful intersection of purpose and progress. For decades, progress was measured by speed, scale, and profit. But today, the world is asking a deeper question, right? We have to reimagine because everything has shifted, and we have to ask the most important question, progress for whom? And when we ask this question, we also have to look at what cost and for how long, right? This is where holistic innovation becomes essential. And so when we talk about holistic innovation, it's not only about smarter technology. It is about human-centered solutions and planet-conscious design and inclusive economic growth. So when we talk about human-centered solutions, we are actually looking at innovation that prioritize dignity, accessibility, and meaningful human outcome over just pure technical achievements. And when we talk about this, we also look at the Sustainable Development Goals, which cover inclusivity. That means nobody should be left behind. And when we look at, tall buildings, hotels, convention centers, they say that, they have made it for everyone. But to me, I don't think so. Because like people on wheelchair or special needs people, they need extra items that should be included. Even a simple thing, right? Like in some hotels, you don't even find a ramp for the people with wheelchair to actually come into the hotel with dignity. Do you all agree? You can always put in the chat, if your comments about what I've just said as well. Because many people, they tick the boxes, but ticking the boxes doesn't mean that they have actually done what is supposed to be done to make the place inclusive, right? You put a beautiful building, all the technological things there, very nice. But if you don't think about everybody, I don't think so then that there is inclusivity. When we talk about planet-conscious design, ecological responsibility is embedded into every stage of development from conception to implementation and beyond. So we must take into account our environment because our environment is so precious, but everybody seems to be chasing after money and prosperity, forgetting that we have to have an environment to remain alive and human, right? And third of all is inclusive economic growth, meaning that when you have prosperity, models that create shared value and resilient communities should also have sustainable wealth for everyone. So even people with special needs shouldn't be just left behind. They are all capable of earning a living. It's just that you have to create maybe safe environments for them or guided employment for them, but they will perform. And in this way, you give them a sense of belonging, you give them back their dignity, and they will be part of the community, right? Do you all agree? So when holistic information transcends smarter technology, it represents a comprehensive approach to solving the world's most pressing challenges, that is integrated thinking, collaborative action, and value-driven research that serves humanity, sustainability, and inclusive growth. Now, the next part is about innovation must serve humanity, right? And when we talk about this, we are actually looking at how we can make it affordable and accessible. We must also look at how it becomes adaptable and inclusive and meaningful impact. So like whatever that I had shared earlier in the examples, those things can be done with affordability and accessibility for everybody, also making it adaptable and inclusive. So even like when you have a conference, you can have people by the side. Everybody else will look at the slides and all those wonderful presentations and all. But people who are blind may not be able to see. But the person who is speaking, they should have somebody there to actually say this, out to the people who are blind and give them the equally wonderful experience in the stage, in the conference room, right? So with this, we actually are able to look at how we can make it meaningful and impactful, all right? Now, when we talk about ecological, we are actually talking about planet. Now, when we talk about the planet, we can no longer innovate without ecological responsibility because it is at a critical level, and climate change, biodiversity loss, and resource scarcity are not future problems. They are present realities. Researchers hold extraordinary power here. Through green technologies and circular economic models, sustainable materials, and data-driven climate solutions, we can change from extracting resources to regenerating ecosystems. Because true innovation does not harm Earth, it heals it. And then when we talk about healing, there is many ways to educate communities locally and globally, right? Because besides having green adoption and circular economy and ecosystem regeneration of fossil dependency, we have to actually change their mindset, because when they change their mindset, you actually allow them to see what they have not been able to see before. And for researchers, this is your power, because you are extracting, you can help them to understand how to actually use the resources that they have to regenerate ecosystems that will become beneficial for the world. So true innovation does not harm the earth, it actually heals, right? And next comes beyond GDP, which is talking about prosperity. Prosperity today is fundamentally redefined, yeah? So it's not only about GDP growth, it is resilient communities, it is ethical supply chains, it is businesses that create shared value. When innovation aligns with social impact and sustainability, we create economies that are stronger, fairer, and future ready. So how do we bridge purpose and progress, right? first, before we even answer that question, we have to look at resilient communities. Just give me a minute, please.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm back. Okay, so what I was telling you is how we can actually achieve this first is to look at resilient communities, because neighborhoods that withstand shocks and support their members through adaptive systems, they have better and stronger social bonds, right? If they don't help, if they don't even think about helping, then we cannot go beyond to get whatever we want to achieve to make the world a better place, right? It's very important because I have seen, right, youths today, as much as they are responsible and everything, but there are also some who don't actually have the kind of care that we, the earlier generation, used to, you are used to, right? Like I've seen people who, when they go into a restaurant or shop and they open the door, right? And they can see somebody coming with things in their hand, but they just let the door close. And I don't think so that this kind of attitude will help to build resilient communities. So I think that when we see such things, it's good that we can actually explain to those people, right? Even there are some elderly people who are also impatient and they don't see that, you know, their action can affect another person. But if we all think about our actions, I think that is the first step to get resilient communities and building stronger social bonds. Next is about ethical supply chains. Business networks that prioritize fair labor, environmental standards, and transparent practices is very important, because in this way, we actually look at humans, right? Giving them fair wages. We look at environmental standards so that they don't go and destroy the environment just to get profit. And also transparent practices, which means that, you know, they actually put in the packaging what they do to actually protect the environment. In this way, they also educate people who didn't know earlier what they are doing, and this is knowledge, and that's very important. And thirdly, it's about shared value creation. Businesses that generate profit must address social needs and environmental challenges, and they can do this in various ways, like doing a CSR, like community service work, in getting their employees involved, not just paying an NGO and letting the NGO, you know, giving them some advantages by contributing money. I don't think so that is good enough. I think they must get their employees involved, the employees' families involved when they do social responsibility work, because that's the way that you can create a strong bond between corporates and community. All right? Okay, so this is the other area where we can actually build stronger bonds and bridge purpose and progress. From silos, we must look at collaboration. So even if you're a researcher and you are breaking down boundaries through whatever research that you're doing, if you can actually collaborate with people who are doing similar research as you will be able to help integrate a greater solution to the existing problem. Okay, and then we must also look at from competition to co-creation. Why? Because building partnerships and leveraging on collective intelligence and shared resources is a plus point. You save money, you gain knowledge, and you also bring people together. I think this is very, very important. Always look at it as co-creation and give the credit to whoever supported you. Always include their name and what they did. Similarly, others must do the same when you also contribute, right? Then the third area is from short-term wins to long-term impact. We must prioritize sustainable outcomes over immediate gains. You can do something that as like businesses or anyone to get quick gains. But what's the point of getting quick gains if your environment is dying? There's no point. But if you actually take that extra effort, look at researchers, what researchers have done, businesses can actually come up with better solutions and they will give a long-term impact. And that's what we want. And university and research institutions and governments and industries, they must always work together. They must always co-create, because from climate change to inequality to public health, it's all too complex, too interconnected for any single discipline or sector to solve it. We must embrace radical collaboration. Okay, so technology alone will not save the world. Yeah. Why I say this is because the most sophisticated algorithm, the most advanced material, the most elegant theory, none of this will inherently have a moral direction. They are tools and powerful ones, but they are still tools. At the end of the day, we are the one that will include through our experience and our knowledge, the moral element to whatever that the tools have helped us to create. So at the end of the day, we have to serve humanity. Innovation has to serve humanity, not harm society. Yeah. So whether it's a sustainable system or it accelerates collapse, technology itself is not the value or intention. You have to have ethical frameworks that will help to co-create or when you deploy it. All right. So you are the architects of the future. Every experiment that you do, every paper you publish, every prototype you build will carry with it a fundamental choice that will echo beyond laboratory or classroom. Will it serve only performance metrics, or will it serve humanity, sustainability, and inclusive growth? The metric we choose to optimize actually is our true priorities. If we are right in whatever that we think that will help, we must put it into whatever that we are doing. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we must balance our questions of access, equity, environmental impact, and long-term societal benefit. So let us choose boldly with courage and conviction to build innovations that genuinely matter. So to me, I think this is an extraordinary 3 days for everybody. And thanks to NFED for doing this, because I think it's such an important society benefit that you're doing. And I wish all of you a great third day. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for all the appreciative words, and thank you for this wonderful, beautiful presentation. Actually, I enjoyed it.
Thank you
for
so much.
joining. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So I now have the immense pleasure in welcoming our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. R. Deepalakshmi. Dr. Deepalakshmi possesses more than 21 years of teaching experience and 10 years of research experience in the fields of data mining, algorithm analysis, geographical data mining, bioinformatics, image mining, and cybercrime. She has delivered special lectures and sessions on topics such as ICT's ethics of publishing, effective tools in online teaching, IPR, cybersecurity, big data research tools and techniques, plagiarism, etc. She has various research publications and 5 patents to her credit. She's been keynote speaker, session chair, and conference committee member in many national and international conferences. Her societal transformation services include impactful deployment of various social, educational, healthcare, and technological services to enhance equity among people and promote sustainable development. She has been bestowed with the Distinguished Educator and Scholar Award in 2022 by NFED and Women Innovator of the Year 2022 by Women Power India Awards. Currently, she is serving as head of the Department of Computer Applications and Director of Data Processing Center at the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Chennai. I now invite our honorable speaker, Dr. Deepalakshmi, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that wonderful introduction. So I first of all thank NFED for conducting such a wonderful conference for the past 3 days. So their involvement in the academic side is really appreciable, and the research in which the research persons are being benefited is also definitely a remarkable trend, which has to be continued by every society, academic society throughout the world. So first of all, my thanks goes to Professor Dr. Ganesan sir, the chairperson of this conference, and the director, Dr. Ramya madam, who is engagingly and actively throughout running the session in a most effective manner. So I am Dr. Deepalakshmi, a Department of Computer Applications, Director Data Processing Center, the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. So today I am going to talk about 10 minutes talk about cybersecurity in the age of AI and the threats and what are all the transmissions it has been involved. Okay, so first of all, just a small introduction about cybersecurity. So everyone just thinks like cybersecurity should be followed only for our laptops. It is not like that. See, cybersecurity is for all the gadgets, whatever we are using, right? So in today, we are using mobile rather than our laptops, right? 90% of you, we use mobiles, we use all the transactions, all the works involving, especially only when you are going to for some conference meet or like this presentation, we are using the laptops. Otherwise, we are using mobile, we are completing our works throughout the mobile, right? So any form of gadgets, any form of electronic gadgets, when we are using the cyberspace, definitely we need to think about a cybersecurity. So this is not only protecting system. As I told, the first thing what we want to note about is we need not concern only about the laptops, any form of electronic gadgets or communication devices, right? So electronic gadgets and communication devices. Along with that, the networks, which is most important, the networks may also be hacked, and the programs, that is the software programs, all these needs to be protected. So the protection given not only to the gadgets, it is also the protection given to the networking as well as the softwares from the digital attacks towards, we term it as a cybersecurity, because many are thinking even now that cybersecurity is only for mobile phones or laptops or only for laptops. This is like that, right? So it is aimed at accessing, either you are going to access or change or modify or destroy it for the purpose of fraudulent purpose. That is, either you're going to extort money from them or you're going to interrupt their normal business. That is what you call it as a man in the middle attack, denial of service. So all these comes under the problems which we are facing in the cybersecurity, right? Okay, so the first and foremost tip, what I need to tell, see, these hackers are getting the information only from us, right? So only when we are going to share an information, that information is going to be hacked. So we need to treat our data to be personal instead of common data. So once we treat, yes, my data is personal, it has to be used only by me and for the needed thing. Like, for example, our academic institution is asking, or our banks are asking, any government is asking, we can give, verifying whether it is a government purpose or not. Otherwise, there is not necessary we need to give these type of information, because data is not really data, it is something personal. See, recently when I come across some restaurants, when they are giving the bill, they're asking, madam, can you kindly provide a mobile number? So I asked them, what is the purpose of mobile number? No, madam, our boss us to collect the mobile number. So what is the reason? I asked, okay, I'll give my mobile number. Will you give any 50% off? No, we are not giving. Then what is the purpose? Just give me the bill. Anyway, you're going to get the amount, right? What is the amount which is printed in the bill? So what is the purpose of giving? But we unknowingly, without knowingly, we are just giving our data to the X and Y persons whom we don't know, right? That has to be provided. And the next point, if we see, the data, the confidential data which has to be sent need to be encrypted. So when we tell about encryption, we can form this encryption in the tag of cryptography. Yes, so cryptography, everyone would have heard about what is cryptography, but this encryption comes under the cryptography. So we say that if we are sending the confidential messages as a single thing, definitely it can be read by any one of them, right? But if it is going to be encrypted, so what do you mean by encrypted? You are converting your plain text to the cipher. So if it is going to be a confidential message, it is better to send through encrypted instead of sending message as a whole. You can encrypt, you can convert it into cipher text, and then you can send. So that is what you call it as a encryption, right? Okay, so next. So what we are talking, who is the hero of this cybersecurity, I can say. Why I'm telling hero of this cybersecurity? Because see, hackers, those who are stealing information from you without your consent, right? Without your consent. If I am giving the consent and if they are taking the information, definitely they are not a hacker. Okay, why I'm telling hero is, see, hackers broadly can be classified into two types, like ethical hackers and unethical hackers. So ethical hackers, we call them as a white hat hacker. White and black hat hackers, there is someone called as gray hat and a suicidal hacker. So when we first talk about black hat hackers, because hackers at the first point, I can just concentrate only on the person who is stealing my money. So them we term it as a black hat hackers. So the individual with extraordinary computing skill, definitely hackers will be brilliant in using the software, right? Extraordinary computing skills resorting to malicious or destructive activities they are using for harmful purposes. When we are coming to white hat hackers, a company employs a person, okay, in the name of security analyst. So suppose if you are seeing in a company where the security analyst is needed for a company, definitely it is the white hat hackers or hackers they are needing. Okay, they are paid more than the manager because they are giving the protection for the whole company. So they are using for defensive purpose rather than the offensive purpose. Okay, and in between this ethical hacker and black hat hacker, we are having someone called as gray hat hacker. So when we talk about gray hat hacker, we tell at some times they act like a ethical hacker and at some times they act like a white hat hacker. So what is that sometimes? So based upon the situation they act. Okay, I will give you some small example for gray hat hackers. See, when we are taking the COVID situation, okay, a person who is employed as an ethical hacker, one fine day due to COVID, the boss is calling and telling, okay, today you don't have a job, you can go because our company has not much of transactions, so there is no hacking. But when he comes down, he has a CMI to be paid, he has to be school fees to be paid, and etc. He has to be paid, right? So what he will do, he knows only hacking. So at times, due to the situation, he turns from ethical hacker to black hat hacker, right? But again, when the company calls after the COVID, okay, you can come and employ. Again, he transforms from black hat to ethical hacker. So that is what, based upon the situation, he transforms himself. That what he calls gray hat hackers. And another one, you call it as a suicidal hackers. That is aim, usually hacking is their aim is to extort money from you, right? Or to breach the data from you. But for suicidal hackers, their aim is not just to extort money, but the aim is to just make you commit suicide. Okay, that is more dangerous. Okay, this is the general introduction or definition about the cyber. All threats is a form of virus. So when we know about virus, so what is a virus? So when we say, generally when we ask someone what is a virus, they will be telling cold, flu, these are all virus. COVID is a virus. But in the computer point of view, virus is a software or a program which is developed by a programmer. Okay, so it is a program being injected into a system such that the system becomes affected. The malicious activities are being injected. So there are various forms of threats and each form of virus has specific characteristics in it. For example, the most like a threatable threat, I can say, like a ransomware, because it is used to steal, extort money from you. And if the ransom is affected, it can also breach data from you, and immediately you will get a mail. If you want your data to be recovered, please pay this much of amount. And even if I pay 100% of the amount, there is only 50% of the chance my data gets recovered. Okay, so that is the most vulnerable virus, I can say. And malware, worms. So worms in the sense, see, suppose if a particular file is affected by a worm, when you are going on clicking it again and again, it gets replicated. Okay, so when we see, we would have emphasized in a system, our system will be slowed down to a particular stage, but again it will work later. Again, when we click on that particular file, it will be slowed down, but we don't know why it is being slowed down. The causes worms, Trojan, spyware. And spyware, when this AI has come, the spyware is easily injected. Like there is no need of any external spy. The spyware is there in your mobile wherever you go, because wherever I go, I'm going to take this mobile. So wherever you go, if the spyware is injected, it is going to be capturing you. Okay, so fine. So to an extent, how we have to find. So due to AI techniques, okay, the hackers are made more easier. Like the AI itself gives how to use the forged URL. Okay, so URL is the address given to the web page. So like the address what we have, each and every web page have a URL. So when we see here, this is the URL of a particular web page. So this is a forged URL. So, and you will be having a poor grammar and scare tactics. So when you see these three types of things, definitely this is going to be a vulnerable web page, and this is not a secured web page, right? And one more thing is, if a page is asking too much of information for transactions, say for example, here you can see the social security number, home phone number, mother maiden name. These are all completely irrelevant, right? Too much of information. So by this also we can say like this is going to be the forged URL. See, nowadays the presentation itself we can find whether it is going to be a ChatGPT presentation, ChatGPT paper, or a normal paper, because all types of ChatGPT papers and ChatGPT PPTs will be alike. The ChatGPT also uses the same words in the combination of 1 and 2, like that. The same way, it will be giving like irrelevant information. Definitely, it is going to be a fake page. Okay. So the security measures what we can take is as well as authentication, OTP, because why I'm telling one-time password is that it is generated by a RSA key algorithm, which is more secure. Okay, so the one-time password is, that's why a bank, whenever you're going to have a huge transactions, they're asking for OTP, which is the most security measure, I can say. So from securing from program threats and the system threats, it is enough if we install an antivirus into our system. So the AI, how it is being affected in the cybercrime is that, see, it is used for offensive and defensive purpose, I can say. Say even the black attackers uses the AI concept, and the white attackers also uses the AI concept, but both thinking in a different way. He's thinking in a positive way, another one is thinking in a negative way. Because when AI is introduced in market segments, the technology with a combination of ML, that is the natural language processing, etc., it is develops a smart malware. Okay, and attacks to bypass the latest security protocols. This is the black attacker. It attacks the latest security protocol, which is developed by the white attackers, right? Okay, so now the mobile has become the new target because the trends provide a considerable increase, almost 50% for mobile banking malware or attacks. For example, in 2019. So making our handheld devices a potential prospect for hackers. So whenever we are using our photos or transactions or emails or messages or any type of threats, okay, the smartphones have the virus, a special virus or malware. It may capture the attention of the cybersecurity. And cloud is also potentially vulnerable. So nowadays what we do is everything we store in cloud, because even the photos what we take, we store in cloud. But the cloud is secure? No. Anything which is stored in Google, it is not secure. Even though, okay, I'm at one point of time, I by mistakenly, I have uploaded some photo in my Google. But after that, one point of time, I thought like, okay, I am getting some sort of comments, which is disturbing my mind. So I will delete that photo. Do you delete that photo? The photo will be there in the server, even if you are not there in the world. Okay, so that is cloud and that is Google. So we have to be very careful in the clouds, because cloud is not safe. If it is going to be confidential data, okay, if it can be readable by anyone, it can be transferable by anyone, definitely you can post the materials in the cloud. Unless or otherwise, nothing should be posted in the cloud. And data breach is the prime target. Data breach means I'm taking the data without your consent. Okay, either by stealing from your laptop or by hacking through your laptop. Anything you call it as a data breach, right? Okay, so it is actually a problem for a big organizations around the world. So whether it is going to be a small organization or large organization, the potential vulnerability for hackers is to access the personal information which you're having. Okay, and something like the data breach is nowadays happening in the protected system. So as per IT law, we can say under section 70, the protected system is a system in every government organization. There will be one protected system which has all the details. Okay, say for example RBI details, Aadhaar details, which should not be hacked, and if it is going to be hacked, is punishable under section 7, right? And IoT with 5G networks, a new era of technology and risk. So with the advent of this 5G, that is IoT, the communication between multiple devices also opens them to vulnerability. See, whenever a technology arises, when it goes to 5 steps, definitely the negative thing is there in the 2-step, right? What are all the hackers will be trying to find the loophole in which way we can attack the technology, because he is also a technology person, he is also a technology person. So both are using their mind in different way. That's it, right? So the automation and integration, yes, it is good, as well as in the cyber point of view, the automation should be more secure, because when we see large and complex web applications, have to be safeguarded, making automation as well as cybersecurity to be a key concept of the software development process. Okay, and targeted ransomware, as I already told you, what is ransomware, and cyber state-sponsored cyber warfare, and insider threats. Insider threats in the sense we can see the breaches. That is also insider threats, and intentional loophole can bring down a whole organization with millions of stolen data. So these are all called as insider threats. Okay, so to conclude with, I can say that AI is fundamentally transforming cybersecurity from a reactive signature-based model to a proactive intelligent defense system, while simultaneously, as I already told, it is a double-edged sword. It simultaneously empowers attackers with advanced tools like AI-driven phishing and deepfakes. So deepfakes are now more vulnerable and more threatenable, because we don't know. Nowadays, we are seeing the AI videos. We don't know whether it is going to be a real video or AI video. Nowadays, AI videos are more real than real videos, right? So it is going to be a threat. Definitely, it is a threat. So this duality requires adopting AI for real-time threat detection, automated response, and behavioral analysis. So it enhances defense, that is AI power, and advanced attacks adversary in AI. So it is as I already told, it is a double-edged sword, and we have to be very careful in using. And there are both persons are using that is both in the positive side and negative side. We have to be careful in the negative side. So thanks for the opportunity. I once again thank the NFED for giving me such an opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was a lot of information. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I now extend my hearty welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Sai Kumari. Dr. Sai Kumari is a professor and head of the Department of Management Studies at SRM Ishwari Engineering College, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. She holds PhD in Human Resource and Administration, postdoctorate in Women Entrepreneurship from USA, and also certified psychometric test professional from the Carlton Advanced Management Institute, USA. She specializes in marketing, human resources, IT, entrepreneurship, and organizational psychology. She has successfully organized and conducted numerous management development programs, FDPs, EDPs, employability and leadership training sessions, soft skill workshops, conferences, research methodology programs across leading institutions. In the domain of educational technology, she has authored over 20 multimedia computer-based tutorials in management and has developed content for business schools, led major e-learning and LMS ERP projects for institutions across the USA, UK, Singapore, Malaysia, and India. She has earned wide recognition, including the Best Teacher Award from Satyabama University, Saiva Siddhanta Ratnam Award, and more than 20 prestigious national and international awards for her excellence in leadership, research, and teaching. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sai Kumari, to deliver the keynote address.
Happy morning to all of you. Special note of thanks to Dr. Ramya Thank you so much, Dr. Conference Chair, Conference Director, and my hearty thanks to Founder, Chairman, Dr. Ganesan, sir, and to the entire team of NFED who has been doing these sort of wonderful research-related initiatives for quite a long time, consistently, without compromising on the quality of it. The topic that I have taken today is research-driven innovation for holistic global future. I'm honored and privileged to be a keynote speaker in the International Conference on Contemporary Researches in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts, ICCRESMA 2026. I'm very happy to be present a wonderful event like this conference, wherein which we can see best minds from different fields have come together to share their ideas, research works, and to have a fruitful discussion that helps to advance knowledge. The motive of this conference cannot be later or less necessary, as every one of us all know that the world is experiencing a fast changing cluster of changes that are not limited in terms of boundaries. We have been called upon to seek creative solutions, not only to the growing accelerations of climate changes or complex global health crisis, and as well as the continuously growing role of technology in transferring the societies, but also to make our solutions sustainable, fair, and inclusive for everyone as well. In this regard, the research-driven innovations become more important than ever. It is with well-researched and sound evidence that we all shall be able to untangle complicated issues and discover revolutionary ways to solve them. Nevertheless, innovations does not exist in the development of new technologies or processes. It is concerned with upcoming solutions that incorporate social, environmental, economic, as well as ethical issues in all aspects of their design and execution. In this holistic approach, that the key to make innovation is to greater good and to creating a more inclusive and just sustainable future, as all of us are aware. We are now experiencing the highest advancements in engineering, science, management, as well as arts. These disciplines, though different in their peculiar sense, are closely related to one another. It is common to see a breakthrough in one field out of inspiration by another. An example in engineering and science innovations will create opportunities definitely in the advancement of healthcare, which will subsequently create possible better management techniques in organizations and governments. Likewise, arts may be instrumental in influencing the social perspective on technology, sustainability, and ethics. So, academic cooperation is not only promoted in this manner, but also needed should we ever wanted to address the multidimensional problems of our era. Through the Center of Research and Training CRT under the National Foundation of Entrepreneurship Development, NFED, a fantastic job has been done where this varied bunch of professionals have been assembled together. The ICCRESMA 2026 vision is to offer a place where researchers, practitioners, and innovators with various backgrounds can meet to share ideas, question assumptions, and work together on solutions, which can provide a tangible difference. This meeting is not only a change to make a presentation of research, but also to learn about the possibilities in the synergies that can appear where we are not thinking within the frames. I urge you all to accept the interdisciplinary nature of the problems that we are dealing with as well as both the sessions, presentations, and discussions in the course of this conference, which we are going to witness now. On the other hand, whatever you do in the engineering, science, management, or arts, there is an opportunity that you work will intersect and be informative of other fields. We can only find the holistic solutions we require when we close the gaps existing in our respective fields and develop a new paradigms of innovations that are comprehensive and sustainable as well. Moreover, we should keep in mind that it is not only the goal of our work to develop our personal spheres, but also to help the society and our planet to improve. We should base our innovations on feeling of responsibility towards environment and the future generation, and responsibility towards underserved groups who will otherwise get left behind in our quest of progress. So we need to include them as well. As we progress through this conference, we should be aware of the ability that we possess as researchers, innovators, and leaders to bring changes. We can use this platform to not only contribute our knowledge or research works, but also establish long-term relationships that will enable us to work together in solving the changes that are facing the world. The thoughts and concepts developed out of this conference could be used to determine the future, not just in the fields that we specialize in, but also the entire humanity. I'm looking forward to the minds open discussions, collaborations, and breakthroughs that will be brought about our experience in ICCRESMA 2026 conference. We can collaborate, share a mutual vision of research based innovation, and build a holistic, sustainable global future which will be seen by the generations to come. With that note, I thank the entire team of NFED for organizing this wonderful conference and giving me a nice opportunity to address. I wish the event a grand success. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I now invite our next speaker. I now welcome our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Sita Lakshmi. Dr. Sita Lakshmi is an associate professor and assistant head of the Department of Tamil, the Department of Asian Languages and Cultures at National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University, NTU, Singapore. She was appointed as a trainer in 1997 and has been a leading figure in the teaching and research of standard spoken Tamil, curriculum review, innovative Tamil pedagogy for Tamil diaspora, corpus data, and teaching Tamil through media. Her earliest stints were at the Tamil Murassu newspaper as a sub-editor and teacher for Tamil language at Meichin Secondary School. She served as visiting scholar at the Penn State University, Pennsylvania, USA, San Jose State University, California, USA, and University of Hong Kong. She has successfully led 5 educational research projects as principal investigator. I now invite our honorable speaker, Dr. Sita Lakshmi, to deliver the keynote address. And ma'am, may I humbly request to kindly complete the session within 10 minutes. We have another one speaker also. We need to complete the sessions on time. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, many thanks. Good afternoon to all. I would like to express my sincere thanks for this opportunity to be the keynote speaker in leading and then prestigious conference. I also would like to express my sincere thanks to NFED team and then Professor Ganesan for this opportunity. Okay, now I will share my slides. I hope you can see. 1 minute, I will go up. Okay, my topic is see, the screen is blocking. I'm doing the research projects on standard spoken Tamil, which is an important way of using the language in Tamil classroom, because in Singapore Tamil classrooms, students are using previously literary Tamil, which is the bookish Tamil. So they always used to speak like writing the language or maybe reading the written book like that. So from there, we identified that the students are using the same language in the shops or maybe in their day-to-day life. What happened, they are having difficulty to make others to understand the language, so they do not use the standard spoken Tamil or maybe spoken Tamil language in their classrooms. During before 1995, the teachers also used to speak the literary Tamil, that means written Tamil, because most of the students are able to speak the Tamil at home, so they already acquire the language at home. So in the schools, they are using the literary Tamil. But day by day, year by year, the community is changing, and then most of the students are using English in their homes. So what happened? This created a lot of difficulties for the Tamil teachers. So Professor Schiffman from UPenn University, he identified that there is a variety within the spoken Tamil, but that spoken Tamil is considered by the researchers that it's a low variety, while the written Tamil is the highest variety. So what happened? He continuously researched, and then he identified that there is a standardized variety, that is the standard spoken Tamil. Usually this variety will be used to converse among the college students, those who are in the hostels. They are from different geographical background like Tanjavur, Madurai, Tirunelveli districts. But when they used to communicate one another, they will use a standard spoken Tamil that will be understood by everybody. They also have the social group based varieties, but those varieties also they do not use. They will use the standard spoken Tamil variety, and this is the variety used by the media and movies. So that's why our students now living in diaspora communities also, they'll be able to understand the spoken Tamil used in the movies or maybe songs or maybe in the stage dramas. So my research is on standard spoken Tamil because we need to do it. Otherwise, our students will use the English, but we do not want them to use the English because Tamil is a diglossic language. So through that, we identified many good features from the Tamil classrooms. This paper highlights about the language varieties. Our photos all blocking. Okay. Language varieties used by the Tamil teachers and students in Singapore Tamil classrooms. This is the data collected through 3 research projects and shared the classroom language of 3 decades. It also highlights the use of written, spoken Tamil and English in Tamil classrooms. Data has been collected, transcribed and translated for analysis. As teacher is the key, we strongly believe that teacher is the role model for the use of language. There will be a positive trend of using Tamil language, and the teacher is the role model in using the Tamil language for the communication in and outside classroom. Because if the students learn the standard spoken Tamil in the classrooms, that means definitely they will be using the language outside the classroom in the community or maybe in their workplace in future. Later, they also able to use the standard spoken Tamil in their family, because in Singapore, we need to make the Tamil language as a living language. So this is an important research initiative for us. The transcripts and translations were checked by the author and then the Tamil-English bilingual. Post-lesson interviews were also conducted with selected number of teachers. Transliteration of data collected was done according to the Professor Schiffman's definitions and procedures related to spoken Tamil. Sometimes you may wonder why the spoken Tamil is so important, because in Singapore they need to study and then they need to write exams for the listening, reading, speaking and then writing. But what happened, the students are having difficulty in spoken Tamil, right? So they usually speak the written Tamil in the spoken Tamil, spoken related exams. So this also created, because sometimes they could not think immediately and then they are not very confident. So they usually speak like a they memorize the language, or maybe memorize the text and then they speak like that. So the community also worrying about it, but now it is changing, because after the Tamil Language Curriculum and Pedagogical Review Committee's report in 2005, the standard spoken Tamil has been implemented through the review committee report. So now students will be able to speak in spoken Tamil, and then they will read the text, that means the lesson text in written Tamil. So this is happening. So it is also a promising progress for us, but still we need to do a lot about how to use the spoken Tamil and then how to celebrate the standard spoken Tamil of our students. We also have Professor Annamalai after Professor Schiffman's, after Professor Schiffman. Finally, the data were subjected to an interpretive analysis in which the author took the coding and related to the specific issues of use of standard spoken Tamil in TL classrooms. This is one table. So here you can see teachers use more language of all types than students. At the same time, the students are also able to use standard spoken Tamil and then written Tamil and then English language also, but the English language and colloquial Tamil are not at the higher percentage. So that is one good point, that the standard spoken Tamil has its implementation and then its progress in the Tamil classroom. That means it also impacted the students' language at the classrooms. There are also some distinctive features of SST. According to the data, some of the different varieties are used in the classroom with a particular emphasis on the SST pronunciation and vocabulary. These are two key features which distinguish from SST from other Tamil varieties, because there are other Tamil varieties also, because we have students from expatriate families, so they will be using their own native land-based variety and then their community group-based variety. But in the Tamil classroom, the teacher will encourage them to speak the Tamil, spoken Tamil. But when they see any different features in their spoken Tamil, they will fondly highlight and then educate them. So this is one good thing, that the students will get continuous encouragements to use the standard spoken Tamil. The engagement and interaction of students in the classroom always depend on their language proficiency and the fluency in the language. When they are confident, they will be able to speak fluent, and then they will be able to develop their language proficiency also. But because of the vocabulary, the less vocabulary, they are having difficulty in speaking the language. But they are very good in their English language usage, because they are encouraged to use more storybooks, and then they have more different kind of storybooks. So a primary 10-year-old child will be able to read at least 500 pages storybook in English within few hours, but they are having difficulty in reading the Tamil storybook, even it is for 10 or 15 pages. But in primary school syllabus, now we are having more storybooks and then big books, so the students are encouraging themselves. But at the same time, they always have difficulty in expressing new vocabulary or connecting their authentic life of every day. When questions asked, students sometimes tend to give single word replies or no reply, even if they know the answer or reply in English, due to the fear of expressing in Tamil. This is because they don't have enough confidence to converse in Tamil. A few students have given proper replies with full and clear sentences when they are capable of handling the language and practicing it often. Also, they are mostly able to speak the language with confidence because they already acquired the language from home. Proficient speakers should be able to distinguish written Tamil from oral Tamil in use, but a few teachers use written Tamil words while speaking to the students. It's because I strongly believe that they gone through their teacher training and then their school education by listening more written Tamil instead of spoken Tamil. Although they acquired the spoken Tamil, their school language also reflected in their classrooms. Proficient speakers should be able to distinguish written Tamil. Corpus data, now we are collecting corpus data. So from primary 1 to all the way secondary 4, that means O level, So there are 27 classrooms. So we managed to collect data from the reading lesson, because through the reading lessons, we'll be able to identify the use of 4 language skills in the classroom. It's also recognized by researchers for its very important usage in research studies. Corpus data encourages learning, and it also argues, because the researchers also argues that corpus data can help individuals to develop their writing skills. Use of English is in Tamil classroom. There is a use of English also. Written Tamil equivalent for a word. Tamil speaking people have natural ability to convert it in spoken Tamil. Based on our observation, we found that the Tamils generally do not use SST forms most of the time for technology and arts related words, because they are using English in their day-to-day conversation and maybe text message, or maybe translating from Tamil to English. So this also creating difficulty for them to use the standard spoken Tamil in Tamil classroom. Actually, this is a continuation of research projects and research writing. Now we are working on research writing. So there will be a corpus data bank and dictionary. We just submitted a new project proposal. We hope that the standard spoken Tamil will be a role model for the diaspora Tamil communities. Already they are using this variety, but now it is continuously developing, and then we will be guiding them, or maybe providing more structural support for them, and with the pedagogical support to the overseas diaspora Tamil communities. I would like to sincerely acknowledge all my research projects, and then research co-principal investigators, and then research assistants for their support. I would like to express Ministry of Education and NIE for their support, that means funding support and all kinds of support for us to continue the research in this SST important domain for Tamil language. My sincere acknowledgement to Professor Ganesan, NFED Foundation also, and then the members of NFED for their continuous support, and then very organized conference. Many thanks for the listeners for their patience and listening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was very informative and interesting. Thank you so much. So I now express my hearty welcome to our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan holds PhD in management and possesses PG diploma in education management and human resource management. She is an academic professional with nearly 25 years of experience in teaching, training, and heading institutions, coupled with a half a decade of corporate exposure. She has been invited as speaker at 94 forums and has written 34 articles on leadership and management areas for magazines and newspapers. She's been resource person for AICTE, Atal FTPs. She is also functioning as external member on the board of Ultratech Cement Aditya Birla Group for POSH. She is a recipient of APJ Karmavir Chakra in 2014 for inspiring youth to contribute towards society. She was an awardee for Women Achiever from NSA, Outstanding Women Professional Award in 2018, and Lifetime Achievement Award in the 38th Integrated National Awards 2025 by NFED. Currently, she is serving as the Pro Vice Chancellor of ITM Skills University and Professor and Director of ITM Business School, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. I now invite our Honorable Speaker, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very good morning to all the research enthusiasts. And thanks to Professor Ganeshan for this opportunity to deliver the keynote address at the International Conference on Contemporary Researches in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts. The synergy between industry and academia in research is a very powerful engine for innovation, creating a bidirectional flow of knowledge, which would benefit all the stakeholders that include students, institutions, and also economy at large. And I think this is a very wonderful theme that has been chosen, which brings into perspective the importance of research in every stream of knowledge. Within the framework of Viksit Bharat 2047, which is the 100th anniversary of independent India, the collaboration of industry and academia is the foundation for transforming India into a global knowledge superpower. And thus this conference is pretty apt, for creating that development for the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. Now, let me touch upon synergy functions as a strategic asset in management research. Academia provides theoretical rigor that we all see, and it also provides exploratory research, while industry provides real world data and uses cases, that is, used cases, real life cases. Academic research validates management theories, while industry actually provides the laboratory for testing these concepts and theories at scale. So you can imagine the kind of collaboration that both needs to, walk together. Instead of researching in a vacuum, academia always identifies the pain points from industry partners. And that's what we as management institutions do. And for instance, supply chain disruptions or AI ethics, or even, develop data-backed solutions. So I think that's where the management role comes predominant when it comes to industry academia research. The integration of industry insights into the curriculum also ensures that research is not just an academic exercise, but it is a tool for professional readiness. And that's what at ITM we prepare the students with. So even during their internships, the students are supposed to solve certain real life problems with industry. So some of the ways are, experiential research. No, as seen in your in the industry internship framework, which our students usually do for about 5 months with industry, the students would apply research methodologies during their field placements. And this turns a standard internship actually into a consultancy project where the students solve a specific organizational problem. Sometimes they also bring back live case studies to campus where our faculties are involved in collaborating with the students and the corporates and writing case studies. So collaborations allow faculties to write contemporary case studies based on actual corporate challenges, replacing the outdated textbooks with real-time scenarios. And that's the benefit that academia gets out of the collaboration with industry. And most importantly, when we are talking about Viksit Bharat Goals 2047, I think all of us as academicians need to ace up. And if we have to achieve a 30 trillion economy, the industry academia bond must definitely focus on the Atmanirbhar innovation, which means developing indigenous management models that can suit the Indian socio-economic context rather than relying on the Western frameworks. And that's where we have brought in the Indian knowledge system, the IKS, and certain other ancient Indian systems which actually work for the research progress. Sustainable technology, again, is another area that we need to work on. And researching on how AI can drive sustainability requires a very deep partnership between industry and also policy researchers, which is academia. So both industry and academia together can do wonders, even in bringing in sustainability, which is one of the key goals of Viksit Bharat. However, because these two worlds are different, and industry moves in quarters while academia actually moves in years, academic years. So successful collaboration actually requires specific frameworks. And how do we do that? So I would like to highlight certain common models of collaboration that we can do with industry, which will benefit us into bringing out excellent research into academia and also benefit the industry. So one is sponsored research, right? A company pays the university lab to solve a specific technical problem or explore a new area. There are many organizations that are interested in academia being involved in their research work. This is best for focused R&D and with clear deliverables. This is what I think works very, very well. And we have tried at ITM as well. We do a lot of sponsored research work for industry. Like we have done this work for the retail sector with QCFI, the Quality Council, and so on. Joint research labs. I think this again is an excellent method to bring in academia and industry research. Shared physical space. So create a physical space which is shared by industry and academia. And equipment with both, you have the faculties as well as the corporates, both together actually take up long-term moonshot projects and work on them. This really works very well. And there are many institutions that are doing this. Strategic partnerships in the form of multi-year agreements covering research, student internship, and curriculum design is something that we need to build with a long-term talent pipeline with industry. And again, this is something that at ITM we really depend upon. We have a lot of industry MOUs, and we not only cover internships, but we also cover research and curriculum design, where industry partners with us in designing the curriculum as part of the industry advisory board. Tech transfer or licensing. So academia also can develop patents or technology, and industry buys these patents and we can actually commercialize it. So this is like taking a lab grown idea into market, and if we can do as academicians, I think that will be great. Another very important area that we can work on is multiple companies and universities can pool together. You can actually become a cluster to solve massive industry-wide challenges. Especially if you look at sustainability, which is a major issue. Carbon footprints is a major challenge for most industries. So can we all come together as a cluster and solve these kind of issues? Now, if you're looking at bridging the gap, I think the process generally moves through different phases. One is you have to identify the entry point. So companies often find partners at technical conferences or through, technology transfer offices, which is called TTOs, which are at the university level. So this is one entry point for, industry when they collaborate for various conferences. Secondly, you also have to define the intellectual property, because otherwise there is always a big hurdle here, right? You must also decide upfront who owns the patent. Can academia publish the results? Otherwise, there will again be a lot of challenges that both would face. Then align the expectations. Whenever industry and academia together are going to be doing any research work, I think industry must accept that research involves also failure. Not that all the time it can be successful, and it can also be very uncertain, right? So academia must accept that industry needs good enough solutions on a deadline, not perfect solutions, but at least, we should reach certain goals that we have set for ourselves. Then bridging the roles. Successful projects often have a principal investigator. So you need to assign roles to people so that they start working on the projects. You can have, on the academic side, you can have a principal investigator, then you can have a champion or a technical scout on the industry side, and so on. And then you can assign roles and do the industry academia research. Now, what is the benefit out of all this? This is the last question that I'm coming to, because I've talked about what industry academia research is, how do we go about, and what is the benefit is what I want to touch upon. Friends, for students, it's going to lead to an access to high quality placements, and also developing a research mindset, which is so essential in today's world, where the students develop critical thinking mindset. And it also is highly valued in C-suite roles, when you reach the CXO levels. Second, for industry, as a stakeholder, again, it gets access to unbiased, rigorous data analysis, because they have a team that's working on the data without having to worry about industry productivity. There's an entirely different team that works on this. And a pipeline of future-ready managerial talent. Industry finds talent out of these management institutions because they notice the students who are working on these research projects. Thirdly, for the faculty, this is an opportunity for consultancy, joint publications, and staying at cutting edge of technological shifts like AI and Industry 4.0. So there is a wonderful platform that is laid also for faculty members, and they can actually take advantage of this. To sum it up, industry and academia research collaboration is undoubtedly a win-win partnership, and I hope that more industry and academic institutions come together for such kind of bond. Industry gains access to cutting-edge discovery and specialized talent, while academia actually gains funding and real-world data to validate their theories. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on one of my favorite topics, industry and academia collaboration. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was very interesting. Okay, before taking a short break, I request all the speakers, all the participants who are available to kindly switch on your videos. Let me take a screenshot. So all the available participants, speakers, committee members, whoever is available, kindly switch on your videos, please. Please give me a moment. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So we'll take a short break and everyone can join in another 5 minutes. We'll be starting the sessions, and the session chairs Dr. Shailaja and Dr. Rajshri Pramila. I'll be introducing you by 11:10. We'll take a short break now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye, ma'am. Bye. Good afternoon, everyone. I extend my warm welcome to all the participants. So welcome everyone to this valediction session. I would now like to welcome and introduce our distinguished conference co-convener, Assistant Professor Dr. G. Subbalakshmi. Dr. Subbalakshmi is the Assistant Professor and Head in Charge at the School of Law, Pondicherry University. She possesses teaching and research experience in the fields of law relating to women and children, IPR, labor rights, and constitutional law. She has published numerous articles in national and international journals indexed in Scopus. Notably, she has collaborated on edited books by international publications like Routledge. She has served as coordinator, keynote speaker, session chairs for many national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. She has delivered more than 60 talks and sessions on topics such as women and law, child rights, IPR, constitutional rights and values, administrative law, labor rights, etc. She is an active member of many committees and as legal experts, and holds additional responsibilities like Deputy Cultural Coordinator, Pondicherry University, External Expert Member, Internal Compliance Committee of Employees State Insurance Corporation ESI, Regional Office Puducherry, an External Expert Member of Ethics Committee at Nursing College, Jitmar. I now invite our conference co-convener, Dr. Subbalakshmi, to deliver the welcome note.
Thank you, Madam. It is a pleasure being here. Good evening to everyone present here in this platform. I extend my warm welcome to this valediction session. The goal of this international conference is to encourage and promote the research abilities of students, researchers, scholars, academicians, practitioners, and entrepreneurs from various academic institutions, organizations, and corporates, as well as to highlight the holistic research contributions in light of the current trends and future challenges for societal upliftment and global development. This conference aimed to be a platform for disseminating the research results in the field of engineering, science, management, and arts without any borders, a platform for discussions and opportunities for mutual knowledge sharing. I'm sure the keynote addresses by various eminent speakers from India and abroad, and the paper presentations across the parallel tracks during these 3 days have been enlightening the research communities and the practitioners. On the behalf of the Presidium of NFED, conference convener, and the co-conveners, I have immense pleasure in welcoming Our today's valedictory keynote speakers, Dr. Luzanne Hamilton, Associate Professor, School of Management Studies, Northwest University, Vanderbilt Park Campus, South Africa. Professor Dr. Yes Magesh, Chairman and Director, Majestic Technology Solutions Private Limited, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Payal Kanwar Chandil, Professor and Head, Department of Psychology and Dean, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Central University of Haryana. Dr. P.G. Sunanda Bhagwati, Professor, Division of Criminology and Forensic Science, Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Nagarajan Yes, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, National Institute of Technology, NIT Manipur. Dr. Pooja Moore, the Program Coordinator, Skill Development Center, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune, Maharashtra, and Dr. Pratima Jagdish, the Founder and Director, ICCRESMA Academy, Bengaluru, Karnataka. I also heartily welcome all the organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, the paper presenters, and the participants of the International Conference on Contemporary Research in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts 2026 to this valediction session. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Dr. Subbulakshmi, for your warm welcome note. So before continuing with our keynote sessions, I request all the speakers, the committee members, participants to kindly switch on your video so that I can take a screenshot. All the speakers, all the participants, committee members. Can you switch on the video, please? Please give me a moment. Let me take a screenshot. Thank you. Thank you. I now have the privilege in welcoming our first valediction keynote speaker, Professor Dr. S. Magesh. Professor Magesh is a distinguished technocrat, academician, publisher, global trainer, and life coach whose multidisciplinary expertise spans engineering, technology, linguistics, arts, administration, and management. With a professional career spanning over 28 years, integrating academia and the corporate sector, he has carved a niche in both higher education and entrepreneurship development. He is a thought leader and prolific trainer and has delivered 179 plus workshops, faculty development programs, seminars across diverse domains, including information technology, human resource management, e-business, and soft skills. He has been bestowed with Lifetime Achievement Award by NFED in 2019 and was internationally recognized with Distinguished Entrepreneur Global Excellence Awards by Centro Universitario Unifat West, Brazil in 2023. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. S. Magesh, to deliver the valedictory address.
Sir, unmute பண்ணு sir.
You can unmute yourself, sir. No?
Yeah. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
Most respected and erudite Chairman, Karmavir Maharatna, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Chief Patron and Conference Chair, respected Executive Chairman, and Director Dr. Ramya Kandavel, distinguished dignitaries, esteemed keynote speakers, respected delegates, academicians, researchers, entrepreneurs, industry professionals, and my dear learners. Good evening to all of you. It's my privilege and an honor to address you in the valedictory program of this 3-day conference hosted by Center for Research and Training, CRT, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, NFED, India, in association with Technovate Educational and Consulting Services, TECS, Coimbatore, India. Over these days, we have shared research, challenged perspective, and strengthened a culture of inquiry that is not limited to one discipline. A valediction is not just an ending, it's a launching point. We now carry these ideas back into our institutions, enterprises, and communities. And what we do next matters more than what we presented here. I've been asked to speak on artificial intelligence as a catalyst for holistic global restructuring. This is not a fashionable topic. It's a practical reality. The world is being restructured in real time. Economies, education, healthcare, governance, and even our social relationship. The only question is, will we shape this restructuring with responsibility and wisdom, or will we simply react to it? Holistic restructuring begins with one truth. Society is a connected system. When one part changes, everything else responds. When supply chain break, employment patterns change. When learning gaps widen, inequality increases. When misinformation spreads, truth collapses. When climate shock occurs, health, migration, and economic stability are affected. So, holistic means integrated solutions that improve the whole system, not one part at the cost of another. Artificial intelligence is a catalyst in this process. A catalyst accelerates change. AI accelerates decision, discovery, production, communication, and coordination. But it can also accelerate harm, bias, exclusion, surveillance, misinformation, and inequality if we deploy it without guardrails. That is why AI must be treated not as a tool alone, but as an infrastructural force, like a new operating system for civilization. Furthermore, if we redesigning the operating system, we must be very clear about our values. Now, in my own journey of nearly 3 decades spanning academia and industry, I have learned one consistent lesson. Technology delivers outcome only when leadership provides purpose. Without purpose, technology becomes a mere force. With purpose, it becomes progress. So when we say AI is a catalyst, we must ask, a catalyst for what? For whom? And under what ethical constraints? Let me briefly map how AI can enable holistic restructuring across major systems. First, governance and public trust. Governments are expected to do more with limited resources, and citizens expect faster, fairer services. AI can help governance shift from reactive to predictive, anticipating disease outbreaks, improving disaster response, reducing fraud and leakage. and allocating resources intelligently. However, governance is not only about efficiency, it is all about trust. If citizens feel that opaque algorithms decide their outcomes, then trust collapses. Therefore, the responsible path is transparent, explainable, privacy protecting AI with human oversight and auditability. Efficiency without ethics is not progress. It is risk at high speed. Second, the economy and entrepreneurship. AI is changing how wealth is created. It can reduce barriers for entrepreneurs through market intelligence, smarter customer engagement, forecasting, automation of routine tasks, and faster access to expertise. Yet, it can also concentrate power if access is limited to a few. This is where NFED's mission becomes critical, because entrepreneurship development is not only an economic agenda, it is a social upliftment agenda. And in the AI era, entrepreneurship can be more inclusive if AI literacy, AI tools, and AI mentorship become accessible to learners, first-generation founders, women entrepreneurs, and MSMEs. Holistic restructuring means ensuring that AI become a ladder for many, not a gate controlled by a few. And third, education and capability building. Education shapes every other system. AI can personalize learning, support tutoring, identify skill gaps, and provide multilingual access to knowledge. But education is not only content delivery, it is character, critical thinking, and creativity. If AI turns learners into passive consumers, we lose something essential. The best outcome is not dependence on AI, but strong human capability. People who can use AI responsibly, questions its output, and apply it ethically to solve real problems. And fourth one is about healthcare and well-being. AI can enable early diagnosis, many efficient hospital operations, personalized care planning, and broader access through virtual support. Yet, healthcare data is deeply sensitive, and any misuse destroys trust. So the restructuring we want in health must be safe, consent-based, privacy-first, and fair across all communities. We must not build high-tech solutions that only serves high-access population. Holistic means inclusive. And fifth, sustainability and climate resilience. We cannot speak about restructuring the globe without addressing the planet. AI can help optimize energy, improve agriculture, model climate risk, and strengthen disaster preparedness. But we must also build sustainable AI systems that are efficient and accountable in their resource use. If AI increases productivity but increases consumption and waste, we have only accelerated the problem. And sixth is about the social cohesion, culture, and meaning. AI now shapes what people see, believe, and share. It can enhance creativity and preserve culture, but it can also amplify misinformation and polarization. No society can be holistically restructured if it is emotionally fractured and socially divided. That is why ethics, humanities, and responsible communication are not optional in the AI age. They are foundational. Now, we must name the risk clearly: bias and discrimination, privacy erosion, surveillance overreach, cyber threat, job disruption without reskilling, and concentration of power. These are not theoretical. Therefore, the path forward must include guardrails, ethical standard, data governance, security, bias mitigation, transparency, and accountability. As we close this conference, I offer a simple direction for all of us, researchers, educators, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Let us break silos and build interdisciplinary collaborations because AI's real impact happens at the intersections. Let us measure only the performance, but fairness and real-world outcomes. Let us convert conferences into long-term ecosystem of mentoring, joint research, and pilots. And let us ensure that entrepreneurship and employability are strengthened through practical AI skill pathways so that technological change becomes social opportunity. Ultimately, the future will not be determined by AI algorithms alone. If we determined by values that guide them, if we choose inclusion, AI can expand the opportunity. If we choose wisdom, AI can strengthen resilience. If we choose ethics, AI can build trust. Holistic restructuring is when technology serves society and society shapes technology. Before I conclude, I wish to express my gratitude to NFED for hosting this conference and sustaining an ecosystem that combines research culture with entrepreneurship development. Platforms like this do not happen automatically. They are built through vision and service. At this valedictory moment, I want to offer special appreciation and sincere praise to Karmavir Maharatna, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Founder Chairman, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship. When we speak about the father of entrepreneurship, many recall the great thinkers who gave the world the foundational vocabulary, enterprise, innovation, risk-taking, and value creation. Such pioneers shaped the theory, the frameworks, and the intellectual foundations of entrepreneurship. But what makes a true father figure in society is not defining entrepreneurship in books. It is building entrepreneurship to people. In that more profound sense, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan stands as a contemporary fatherly force for entrepreneurship in our ecosystem. When classical pioneers offered concept, you have offered capacity. When theory described what entrepreneurs are, you have helped create who entrepreneurs can become. You have not merely spoken about entrepreneurship development, you have institutionalized it. You have not merely encouraging the enterprise, you have enabled it by creating platforms, cultivating research culture, nurturing confidence, and converting potential into performance. Sir, your dedication to uplifting society through entrepreneurship development has created real pathways for individuals to build confidence, competence, and livelihoods. You have consistently brought together research, entrepreneurship, and social purpose, and through that mission, you have contributed meaningfully to upbringing of society. Your leadership has not guided institutions. It has inspired people to believe they can create value, generate employment, and contribute to the nation. With that, I thank every organizer, every presenter, every participant, and every learner. May the ideas shared here become actions. May our collaborations become outcomes. And may artificial intelligence, guided by ethics and human purpose, truly become a catalyst for holistic global restructuring. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's a very extraordinary presentation. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for being present here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. We'll move on to our next keynote speaker.
Whosoever is available, you can take a call on that, director, please.
Dr. Sunanda ma'am, Sunanda Bhagavati ma'am, are you available?
She's there, I suppose.
Sunanda ma'am, can you hear me? Kindly switch on a video. Yes. Yes. So I express my hearty welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. P.G. Sunanda Bhagavati. Dr. Sunanda is currently working as professor in the Department of Criminology under Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Prior to her academic assignments, she served as officer in the Tamil Nadu Police Department and retired as Additional Superintendent of Police. At present, she teaches police administration, criminology, victimology, forensic science theory, and practical contemporary forms of crimes, private detective investigation, juvenile justice, etc. She has authored 7 articles in journals such as Indian Police Journal and International Journals, besides partaking in 3 book chapters. In commemorating her laudable academic achievements and professional accomplishments, she has been bestowed with Outstanding Educator and Administrator Award. In 2025, the Global Conclave on Sustainable Development and Integrated National Awards by NFED Coimbatore. She is also conferred with the Distinguished Fellow of NFED in 2025. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sunanda Bhagavati, to deliver the valedictory address. Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am. You're not audible. You kindly connect your device, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible.
Good afternoon, all. First of all, my thanks to thanks and special greetings to dear Dr. Ramya, Conference Director, and Dr. Ganeshan, Conference Chair and Chief Patron of ICCRESMA 2026, and the founder and chairman of NFED. This is a great honor and opportunity for me, especially when I am in the academics. The topic today I have taken is Justice Beyond Law, what the humanities teach us about being human. May I have, can I close my video, please?
Do you have a PPT, ma'am? No.
Do
you have a PPT
video
presentation, ma'am?
No, because of the
network. Okay, ma'am, no problem. No problem.
Justice is not only about punishment. When we say justice, we immediately think of the solution as punishment. But it is not only punishment, it is the quiet assurance that truth prevails and the dignity is restored. How it is restored, why it should be restored, let us just see. We often encounter justice as a verdict or a sentence or a legal outcome. Yet, when something is broken, that is by violence or discrimination or by silence, punishment alone does not always heal what is disturbed. Justice, in its deeper sense, is an act of moral rebalancing. It seeks not only to correct wrongdoers, but to restore meaning, voice, and worth. Law gives us structure. It defines offenses, procedures, and remedies. But law, by its very nature, speaks only in general terms. It cannot fully capture the grief, the humiliation, fear of hope. Justice, therefore, cannot live in a statute alone. Law alone is not justice. Justice is often imagined as a courtroom, a gavel striking wood, a judgment pronounced, a file closed. But at the end, whether justice is given or not, we'll have to ponder. Justice is far more intimate than that. It is about human dignity, whether the dignity is restored or not. It is about how societies remember suffering, acknowledge harm, and choose compassion over indifference. This is where the humanities become indispensable. Literature, history, philosophy, art, and ethics teach us to listen to stories that law cannot hear, to silence that legal language cannot name. They remind us that justice is not merely a legal outcome, but a deeply human aspiration. Today, as we reflect on justice beyond law, we explore how the humanities help us understand not just what is lawful, but what is right, and ultimately what it means to be human. Rabindranath Tagore once warned us that when justice is reduced to rigid order, it loses its soul. For him, justice was inseparable from compassion because a society that obeys law but forgets humanity merely replaces cruelty with procedure. His vision reminds us that law may regulate behavior, but justice must speak to the human spirit. Dostoevsky takes us even deeper into the moral terrain. In his novel, crime is never just a legal violation, it is a rupture within the human conscience. Punishment, he suggests, is incomplete unless it is responsibility, remorse, and moral reckoning. A verdict may end a cause or end a case. Small causes, they say, a verdict may end a case, but it does not necessarily resolve the human suffering that surrounds it. This is why justice cannot be confined to courtrooms alone. We often imagine justice as a gavel striking wood or a judgment etched into law books. Yet, justice, in its truest sense, is about restoring dignity, about acknowledging the pain, recognizing truth, and repairing what has been broken. This is where we try to introduce restorative justice. Truth prevails, the facts are uncovered, and wrongdoing is acknowledged, and society recognizes what has happened. This brings clarity and removes doubts, fear, and misinformation. When dignity is restored, victims regain their sense of worth, confidence, and respect. Communities regain their trust. Even offenders, when they take responsibility, can begin a path towards reclaiming their dignity as human beings. They are given a chance. The accused or the wrongdoers are given a chance when we introduce restorative justice. Restorative justice views crime not merely as a violation of law, but as a harm done to people and relationships. It prioritizes healing over punishments by bringing victims, offenders, and the community into a process of dialogue and accountability. Rather than asking what law was broken or which law was broken, restorative justice asks who was harmed and how that harm can be repaired. It encourages offenders to take responsibility in a meaningful way, fostering remorse, reintegration, and moral growth. In doing so, restorative justice ensures dignity, trust, and social balance, goals that punishment alone cannot achieve. Justice, therefore, is not loud or dramatic. It is often a quiet, steady process that heals, reassures, and strengthens the society. It tells people that fairness still exists, that harm will not be ignored, and that every person's humanity matters. The law gives us the framework, what is legal, what is illegal, what is permissible, and what is not, what is punishable. But humanities, literature, history, philosophy, art gives us the deeper question. What is right? What is fair? What does it mean to live with compassion? So consider literature. A novel does not simply tells us a story. It allows us to step into the lives of others. Through a poem or a play, we feel another's pain, hope, and struggle. That feeling, the ability to imagine ourselves in their place, in the place of another, is the soil where justice truly grows. Stepping into others' shoes and finding the difficulties. Without empathy, laws become empty. With empathy, they become humane. History too reminds us that justice is never complete. Societies have abolished slavery and it enfranchised women and fought for civil rights, not because the law suddenly discovered morality, but because human voices demanded recognition of their worth. Justice then is not a frozen principle. It evolves with our growing understanding of humanity. Philosophy challenges us. Should justice be about equality or about equity? Should it punish or should it heal? These are questions the courtroom alone cannot answer. They are questions of conscience, of the human spirit, of the society, of the community. And art, painting, music, theater speaks when words fall short. They remind us that justice is not only about punishment or procedure, but also about healing, about restoring harmony in a fractured world. When we bring the humanities into justice, we realize that law is not the end of justice. It is only the beginning. Law gives us order. The humanities gives us meaning. Law resolves disputes. The humanities remind us why peace matters. So let us imagine justice not merely as a verdict, but as a shared human journey, a journey where law and the humanities walk hand in hand, one giving structure, the other giving the soul. In the end, justice beyond law is about how we treat each other when no one is watching, how we honor the stories of those who came before us, and how we create a future where humanity in all its richness is respected. Ladies and gentlemen, if the law teaches us to live within rules, the humanities teach us to live with heart and thought, mind and instinct. And only when both are together can justice truly be called justice. Thank you very much. I'm very thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity in the amidst the elite group. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I now welcome our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Luzanne Hamilton. Yes.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to share my screen.
Yeah. Dr. Luzanne has a distinguished academic career over 19 years and has taught a broad range of undergraduate and postgraduate business modules, contributing significantly to academic leadership, research, and training. She holds a PhD in business management with focus on female entrepreneurship, and this offered a comparative analysis of entrepreneurial dynamics between South Africa and the Netherlands. Her current areas of specialization include entrepreneurship, active research interest in female entrepreneurship, student entrepreneurship, and motivational and factors influencing entrepreneurial intent and behavior. Professor Hamilton is also a certified STEP master trainer, regularly offering entrepreneurship and business development workshops for students, academics, community members, and she has delivered numerous workshops aligned with both academic and grassroots of entrepreneurial development. In addition to her teaching and research responsibilities, she serves as conference chair, examiner, and moderator for a variety of academic institutions. She is also reviewer for several scholarly journals and conferences and supervises masters and PhD candidates. At present, she is the associate professor in School of Management Studies, Northwest University, Vanderbilt Park campus, South Africa. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Luzanne Hamilton, to deliver the valedictory address.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Prof. Ghani-san. I would like to share a very trendy topic with you this afternoon, and it's all about ecosystems and where does universities as engines of these entrepreneurial ecosystem fits in. So if we think of an entrepreneurial ecosystem, what does it entail? How do we define that? It's a set of interconnected actors, institutions, and processes that enable productive entrepreneurship within a specific geographical or institutional concept. But what we should also keep in mind is that there should be different actors involved in this entrepreneurial ecosystem, and that is the entrepreneur itself, the university, the government, the industries, as well as networks. Why do we see the university central in these ecosystems? Universities are anchor institutions. They've been existing for a long term. We always say universities shape skills, mindsets, and aspirations. We also say that entrepreneurship is produced by universities, knowledge are shared, and innovation are shared by universities. And universities also create a platform where multiple ecosystem actors, like I've mentioned in the previous slide, can get together to work together. Now, I don't know if you've realized in the research field, there's a huge global shift for traditional universities to move to entrepreneurial universities. And especially in my context in South Africa, and I believe in India as well, where we have high unemployment rate, especially with female entrepreneurs, we need to create an entrepreneurial culture in our universities as well as in our countries. So we say a global shift should be from a traditional university, academic university, to an entrepreneurial university. Instead of just teaching and research, we need to make teaching impactfully, research that's impactfully. We need to just not create knowledge, but we need to apply the knowledge that we create. We not just create employability, but we say with the employability, we should employ these kids in such, or learners in such a manner that they create jobs in our countries. If we think of the universities as the power hubs in the ecosystems, what are they currently doing? We are creating human capital with entrepreneurial skills. We need to equip them with mindsets and confidence. We also need to create knowledge and innovation. We need to do research on our innovation. I think nowadays and literature has shown that we have all these nice articles on entrepreneurship, etc. But what are we doing with those articles? It's nice to say, but there's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of skills that needs to be rendered, or there's students need to be equipped with the following skills, but how do we apply that knowledge? Are there any spin-offs coming from the knowledge that we apply? Our infrastructure in our universities, do we have a university incubator? Do we have a specific hub or a lab that our students can go to? Last year, I've asked in my undergrad classes, I've asked the students, do you know where the university incubator is? I've shared that with universities, other universities here in South Africa as well. One of my PhD students did some research, and the students are not aware of the Center for Entrepreneurship. So we need to create an entrepreneurial infrastructure at our universities. If we think of networks, are we linking these youth with possible investors? Are we opening the platform for these learners to connect to investors? Now, what is the current role of universities? And I'm not saying this is now just happening in South Africa. I have contacts in the Netherlands. I have contacts in Germany as well. And it's not just a country-specific thing. It's also happening globally. Entrepreneurship is just seen as a module in a degree. There's a lot of university-based incubators, but like I said, are our students aware of that? Do we have community entrepreneurship initiatives? And then are our focus growing for entrepreneurship, or are we just seeing it as another add-on to our curriculums? Now, there's some in the literature, it shows that there's gaps that's holding us back for us to make an impact. We are not coordinating our ecosystem. We're limited to the private sector for engagement. We have few incentives for academics to commercialize their research. And entrepreneurship is still concentrated only in the business faculties. We are not sharing it across faculties. There's still a perception that entrepreneurship needs to only be in business management modules. We are not involving the other faculties to be involved in entrepreneurship. So from participant to ecosystem orchestra, what can we do? How can we strategically shift our universities? We should not just have running programs. We need to build platforms for our learners, our students, our community. We need to not work alone, but we need to collaborate. And that's why Prof. Ganisan and myself, we've been walking the walks here as to get that collaboration with your colleagues in other countries. Get that collaboration with other universities in your region, in your country. And then from outputs, let's create measurable ecosystem outputs that we can keep our university to. What should change for our way forward? How can we strategically prioritize our strategic plans? We need to embed entrepreneurship across all disciplines and not just in business management. We need to strengthen our university industry government collaboration. And we also need to align our incentives with innovation and impact. Not just say we equip students with knowledge and skills, but where's the incentives? Where's the innovation? Where's the impact? We also need to support youth. We need to support females, and we need to support our students intentionally. In my project management module as well, my students are not just creating a project plan. I'm taking them to the industry. They're creating a project plan for a specific industry. And I believe that's what we should do with entrepreneurship as well. We need to take it a level further and say, but let's take hands with the networks. Let's take hands with industry and other universities to make entrepreneurship impactful and not just an entrepreneurship discipline. Thank you. So if we can conclude, sorry, I just want to conclude one thing, and I want to leave this thought with you. Entrepreneurship will flourish where universities move from the classroom and become catalysts for innovation, inclusion, and economic transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor
Thank you.
Lucy
Thank you.
Hamilton. Thank you.
The next presenter, maybe
Dr.
Pooja
Pooja
Moore.
Moore.
Yes, yes, yes.
I express my hearty welcome to our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Pooja Moore. Dr. Pooja is an accomplished academician with leadership, research excellence, and pioneering contributions in skill development and vocational education for over 2 decades. Currently, she is serving as Program Coordinator at Skill Development Center, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Maharashtra. She has been at the forefront of initiating and scaling vocational degree programs that blend academic rigor with industry relevance and spearheaded the launch of bachelor's degrees in manufacturing, automation, and robotics. She has initiated successful collaborations with industry players such as Mahindra, Bajaj, etc. for strategic program development, including national level capacity building with MNRE, NSQF framework contributions, and CSR-based vocation projects. She has conducted research and technology transfer in domains such as automation, signal conditioning, solar energy, and sensor innovation. She has implemented 4MAT program in collaboration with IOC HPE Foundation Brazil as an internal collaboration with cross-cultural initiatives. She has over 25 plus publications in reputed journals, including RSC Advances, IEEE Journal of Material Sciences, etc., and has successfully completed projects with ISRO. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Pooja, to deliver the valedictory address.
Thank you, Ramya, for a very good introduction. I would like to thank KBM Professor Dr. Ganeshan, Conference Chair and Chief Patron of this international conference, for giving me this opportunity. My today's topic is going to be farming with sensors, how smart agriculture is feeding our future. The world needs more food, but our planet has less to give. Global pressure demands a breakout strategy. The fundamental change is how we produce food, because we have got a growing population, climate change, and limited resources. Because of the growing population, there is an increased demand for food. There is unpredictable weather patterns, which gives drought, extreme events. There are critical inputs like fresh water, arable land, and skilled labors. And because of all this global pressures, we need to produce more food. So for that, smart farming is the solution to it. Now, when it is smart farming, it is using modern interconnected technologies to make agriculture more efficient, productive, and sustainable. This cycle of collecting data, making informed decisions, and achieving better outcomes is the engine of smart farming revolution. It is about moving from guesswork to data-driven certainty. The smart farming toolkit consists of precision farming, IoT sensors, drones and aerial imaging, AI and machine learning, and automated equipment. So understanding these 5 pillars is the key to understanding the revolution. Now, what is precision farming? Precision farming delivers exactly what is needed and exactly where it is needed. So in precision farming, we use GPS and mapping tools to precisely monitor and manage variations in soil, crops, and resources across a field. What it does, it optimizes seed plantation for ideal density, tailors fertilizers and pesticide application, and directs irrigation to a specific zone. Example, you can take it. Using variable rate technology, a tractor can automatically adjust the amount of fertilizer it applies as it moves across a field, responding to real-time soil data. This saves money, reduces waste, and protects soil health. IoT sensors give farm a voice, providing real-time data. It's a network of sensors embedded in the soil and environment to measure key agricultural matrices. It measures the soil moisture, temperature, nutrient level with the sensors, transmits data wirelessly to the central platform or the mobile app, and delivers real-time alerts to farmers for immediate action. In practice, you can put up a soil moisture sensor which detects the specific section of the field which, if it is becoming too dry. If it is too dry, it automatically triggers the irrigation system for that zone only, conserving water and ensuring optimal crop health. Then there are drones which are put up to provide an unprecedented view from above. So it uses a drone aerial vehicle equipped with high-resolution cameras and sensors to survey farmland. So this drone is going to capture the detailed image to monitor crop health. It will identify earlier signs of pests or diseases, defect areas suffering from water stress or nutrient deficiency. So a drone survey identifies a small isolated patch of fungal disease in a large field. The farmer can then apply treatment only to the affected area, preventing the widespread outbreak and saving the majority of the crop. Artificial intelligence is turning agricultural data into predictive power. Advanced software algorithms that analyze vast data sheets from farm sensors, weather forecast, and satellite imagery to identify patterns and make predictions. It can predict future crop growth and potential yield, forecast the livelihood of pest and disease outbreak, help farmers make strategic decisions and plan for the season ahead. The AI platform analyzes years of historical weather and solid data to recommend the optimal planting dates for the specific crop in specific location, significantly increasing the probability of maximum yield. Automation and smart equipment bring new levels of efficiency to farm operations. Use of automated systems to tasks like irrigation and self-guiding or robotic farm machineries like tractors and harvesters are used. It reduces the need for manual labor in repetitive tasks, increases the precision and efficiency of the field operation, and it allows for 24/7 operations when necessary. So the automated drip irrigation system linked to IoT soil sensor can reduce water consumption by 30% compared to traditional flood or sprinkler method, delivering a significant environmental and economic benefit. The triple bottom line of smart adoption, the advantages are you have got an economic profit, optimized input, lower cost, and for that you will be getting a higher yield plus a stronger ROI, delivers more returns for investors and higher margins for owners. We are saving the planet through the environment. The precise application leads to conservation of water energy and reduces chemical turnoff. And this becomes an operational process, shifting from reactive firefighting to proactive planning. But this has got a number of challenges. The challenge is first is initial investment, the cost of equipment and software, then digital literacy, the need for training and new skills for farmers and their teams, connectivity, which is a great challenge, the challenge of reliable internet access in rural areas, integration, ensuring new technologies work with existing farm practices, and data security, addressing concerns around data privacy and ownership. Adopting smart farming is a journey with practical consideration. Acknowledging these challenges is the first step to overcome them. So in order to overcome these challenges, we can have a framework of implementation, that is, to start small. Start with a pilot project, which will be having soil sensors to demonstrate value with minimum risk. Skill up, invest in digital literacy through technical workshops and for staff. Collaborate. So for advanced drones, you can have a joint co-ops to pool resources because drones are going to be expensive. Leverage support. Actively research for government subsidies. So this will be the framework for a pilot project. The future is smart, connected, and sustainable. Smart farming is a convergence of efficiency and sustainability. It is not a luxury. It is the most viable path forward to feed a hungry world while conserving finite natural resources. The farming of future is already here. Adapt now to secure a resilient enterprise. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Pooja. That was an excellent presentation. Thank you so much. I now welcome our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Pratima Jagadish. Dr. Pratima is a corporate leader turned into an academic entrepreneur. She is the founder director of ICCRESMA Academy of Management and Education, Bangalore, Karnataka. She is an engineering graduate with MBA in International Business, followed by doctorate in Business Administration and Human Resources. She is also a professional counselor, life and mindfulness coach, business coach, HR advisor, EVP, and strategic HR coach. She trains and mentors students of adolescence age in uplifting their career and self-management skills. She works with educational institutions starting from high school to PG students in this field, trains teachers in various learning methodologies, and executes parenting workshops. She has been honored with various awards, including Top 100 HR Leaders in Asia Pacific Continent in 2015 by World HRD Congress, Inspirational Global Women Award in 2020 by the Hindu Media Group, Entrepreneurial Excellence Award in 2021 by NFED, Top 10 Soft Skills Trainer by Silicon India, and her exclusive interview is published in Women Entrepreneur magazine of June 2022. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Pratima Jagadish, to deliver the valedictory address.
Great. Well, very well. Thank you so very much. Good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And very, very glad to be over here. First of all, thank you. A deep gratitude to Professor Dr. R. Ganeshan, the conference chairperson, for this brilliant conference, and also Dr. Ramya, the conference director. Very, very glad to be over here. Congratulations to all the participants who have presented from last 2 days, and having been a very long acquaintance with NFED, having worked with Dr. Ganeshan, I can vouch that it would have been pick and span when it comes to any of the online conferences or any of the events that have been conducted by NFED. It is a bliss to always witness all of these events, and the methodology, the keenness in organizing the aspects, the keeping of the time is absolutely brilliant. And it's on to the point that he makes sure everything is intact, and that is something which is commendable. It is just not 1 or 2 events, but it has been years that I have witnessed it, and that is a pattern. Salute to all of the participants and Dr. Professor Ganeshan and Dr. Ramya. Kudos to all of you, because I'm the final speaker. It is important.
No, you are not the final speaker. You will have one
Oh,
more
is it?
speaker. So you
Oh,
are the we are on.
last but one.
Yeah, last but one. Yeah, right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Professor. So it is definitely one of those wonderful moments that I need to congratulate to each one of you who have been over here and presented various different aspects. While let me tell you, it was way back in September, this particular program got completely planned. And I was like, okay, when Professor Ganeshan approached me saying that, okay, will you be a valedictory speaker? I said, it has been still in the January 29th to 31st. We have still 4 to 5 months to come, and you're planning it so early. And he said, yeah, this needs to be planned early. And that was something which is very, very impressive, because what you have been through in the last 3 days, for all the participants over here, for the keynote speakers, I'm sure he would have reached out, just like me, he would have reached out to each one of you to say that, okay, why is this important? What are we trying to do? What is the communication, etc. That is the kind of methodology, the keenness, the organizing skills, and the vision that any leader would have. I think that is something which is commendable for all the researchers over here, be it entrepreneurs, be it academicians, be it somebody who is from the different backgrounds and different professions out over here. If we can take away these small little things from NFED and the way that it has been conducted, the way it has been planned, I feel personally connected to those aspects of it because I am somebody who is more acquainted with behavioral aspects. I, I personally go ahead to witness these things, observe these aspects, and absorb as well of what is supposed to be taken forward. So salute to the entire team out over here who have rigorously worked across for all these days and nights and planned very meticulously. Congratulations. Well, coming back to the month of September, when Professor RG approached saying that, okay, why don't you speak about emotional intelligence? And this is something which is a contemporary research that is happening. I said, okay, just give me a day's time. Let me come back to you. And because it's a valedictory, the keynote speaker, it is important also to bring back of what is not supposed to be a completion, but is there any opportunity that we can ignite the spark for all the participants, for exclusively the researchers? This is where the things really came. I selected and we had a discussion to say, can we go ahead? I would want to encompass all of the upcoming frontiers, upcoming research and development areas, rather than just focusing on one of them. And he was extremely cooperative enough in saying that, yeah, I think you should just go ahead and do that. This is where I am here to summarize what is it in the next. While you folks and so many other researchers have presented absolutely mindful and brilliant research work in the last 3 days. What is next? Is this something which is a completion, or is it a beginning for something else? This is what I would personally would want each one of you to go ahead, think about it. I will present some of my thought process. What have I witnessed it across in the industry? As Dr. Ramya did mention, I come from two different hats. One is a corporate hat, one is an academic entrepreneurial hat. So I do witness two different worlds altogether as a part of my job. And this is where I just encompassed and embedded a lot of different topics to say contemporarily in the next 1 decade. Researchers, what can they do? How can they become a change makers? How can they go ahead to create different waves, be it in academics, be it in business world, be it in any part of the professions? Even if you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur in an organization, you can make a difference. So all of us are working in different angles. While we know industrial revolution, we know discoveries and inventions. In the last 30 years, that is 3 decades, we have also understood it is just not about the changes in the technology, but it is a revolution that has brought it. Going further, in next 1 decade, what is this technological intervention and evolution is going to make a big difference is something that all of us are supposed to be witnessing, and we will be a part of this particular change as well. So in that angle, I would want to present few aspects from my thought process on how do we would want to go ahead and get acquainted with various different angles. And this is where I bought in to say, can we go ahead to focus on emerging areas of the research with a very potentiality that it can carry by itself to reshape the industries and the societies towards the future growth? In the next 1 decade, what is it going to happen? So this is where the things really turn out to be. And I would want to focus on saying that this is something which all of us are supposed to be prepared for. And if we can go ahead and say, why would research will decide, sorry, what will research decide in the next decade, plus what are those frontiers and the emerging research areas that we can be prepared for? And more than anything, every industrial revolution that was that has got preceded was a kind of a product. But from now on, it is just not about the product, but also the research questions. So having said that, this is where I would want to go ahead and focus on a few things as an aspect. Next question. Why did I choose this particular topic by itself was, A valedictory, as I did mention, is not about what was done before, what has been prepared and what have you done. It is great, absolutely no doubt about it. But why it mattered, why did we do this research, or why are we even pursuing any of the research is something that I personally connect to. Next is, what we have learned here prepares not for the kind of a today's challenge, but also for the questions that has not even yet existed. So we as researchers and the people from the different organizations, different professions, different domains and sectors, if we can actually look forward, fine, we have come to this particular part of the today and we understand the challenges. But are we ready for any of these questions that has not yet existed? At last but not the least, the more powerful valedictory speeches, as I did mention, it's not about the summary, it's about what next. How can I ignite better? What can I do better is something that I personally connect to. So a valedictory is not about ending a program. It's about defining the responsibility that begins today. Can you ignite a spark in yourself and in others, influence others, inspire others to say that, look, these are all the areas that are upcoming. Focus on this. You might be an academician. You have so many different brilliant minds working with you who are learning from you. If you can carry out, if you can influence those small little minds, you never know where will the ripple effect really end. So this is where I would want to bring you to and introduce you to some of these emerging research areas and why does the emerging research matters today is because, as I did tell you, I work with the academicians as well, and personally I'm an international career coach. So careers today, how is it even creating the waves in the industry, and what is the industry really even expecting from the upcoming workforce is a biggest challenge on what is the kind of a potentiality and how ready they are. So every industrial, the kind of revolution that has got preceded is just not about the products, but the research question. Somebody asked, why not? It is just not about that. Along with why not, can I go ahead and do something about it? And that kind of a transition line. The future will not be shaped by just one technology, as I did mention. This is a kind of a revolution that is happening, but by the kind of an interdisciplinary aspect and the intersection of many domains and many sectors. Interdisciplinary, be it education, be it in the kind of the product, be it in the kind of the thought process, will be the mantra for the next decade, and I can definitely vouch for it. While let's go ahead, take a plunge into the frontier one. I would want you to, I want to actually present 6 different areas. There are a bunch of different areas which are making a lot of different changes, but predominantly I just selected 6 of them, which is creating a lot of difference in upcoming industries and what are they up to and why is this becoming important. The very, very frontier number 1 is, basically the artificial intelligence beyond automation. And I recollect, Professor Magesh also did speak about the artificial intelligence. So basically, we all know ChatGPT, we all know hundreds of automation today, and people are extensively using it. But what next? The next is, we have something called as the XAI, that is explainable AI, wherein it justifies its decision. Today, it is only giving the information. But the fact of what is the next R&D in the AI part is, it is beyond automating the things. It will justify why is it saying what it is saying. Next is a cognitive and emotional AI. Today, we feel that, yeah, artificial intelligence speaks like a machine, but it doesn't even connect to the person, connect to their emotions, connect to their empathy, connect to their biases, connect to their perspectives. This is where the next research wave will create. Understanding the intent along with the kind of an emotions will be the next generation AI that will take a plunge into the industry. Plus, today AI is being fed with human intelligence. It collates the data from various different angles. It creates and upgrades it. But does it have a creativity of its own? That is another question most of the researchers started asking. This is where the next R&D will take a plunge to say that AI plus that creativity is a kind of a co-creation. It's just not about the replacement, but it is not about just the collation of the data from various different people and the human intelligence, but the machine will start creating the one. So the brilliant part of it is the future challenge is not about can AI think. We all know already that AI can think, but can humans trust AI? Today, Can we go ahead to trust AI that this is what is the aspect and I can rely on this particular information or the knowledge or anything that it gives? Is the next wave of the intelligence when it comes to the AI part. The next frontier that I would want to introduce to everybody is a kind of a biotechnology and the human enhancement. Obviously, we know that there is a kind of a pharmaceutical and the genomics and the things that are actually taking a different turn, particularly in healthcare diagnosis, then the kind of even with education in that matter, and also the kind of agriculture, the food security, insurance, and the workplace planning. All of them particularly makes a lot of difference, be it in the kind of a synthetic biology, which is more from a designing of the life systems, or the longevity of the science and the regenerative medicines today. So when it comes to that particular part, biomedical engineering and the biotechnology with the human enhancement will take a plunge, and the kind of an ethical dimension of what I can actually say is the genetic equity and the bioethics regulation will also play a very, very vital role. When I say that, what do I mean by that is we are somebody who is moving also to the part of treating illness to engineering health. And this is something which we will have to say that it is just not about treating illness, but it is also about the engineering health. When it comes to the data sciences, be it in the biomedical engineering, etc., will take a different plunge altogether. Along with this, now, what is the third area that comes to the frontier upcoming for the research and also the other people from the industry who are going to take a R&D of bringing up the product or making a change is the climate tech and the sustainable systems. We all know that we are not giving a very good environment or the kind of the world that we would leave, this particular generation would leave for the next upcoming generation is not a good thing. We have actually exploited and we are exploiting it. But what is the repercussion of the upcoming, our own next generation, our children or the grandchildren or the next generations to come? This is where the climate tech plays a very, very vital role. So the kind of the carbon capture and the negative emissions and the kind of an energy storage breakthroughs makes a lot of difference when it comes to the kind of the climate tech and the sustainable part of the sustainable systems that are upcoming. So having said that, we also need to understand that the next $1 trillion companies who are working in the climate change will solve the kind of climate problems and just not create them. And that is something which is important for us to understand, that most of the organizations today with the manufacturing units in the sectors and in the domains are creating the kind of climate problems. But upcoming ones and the R&D will always think about the answers that while we have a problem in hand, how can we even solve this as a part of it and how not to create them? This is going to be the kind of another domain, another sector, another field where there can be a huge R&D that can take a plunge with. The next one, as a kind of the fourth zone where I personally have witnessed, is also the kind of a quantum advanced computing, particularly from the data sciences perspective and the data that it is getting produced, a huge terabytes of the data from the cloud computing and the data in the social media that is coming. The quantum advanced computing will just get emerged with the different algorithms and the ultra secure communication, because we are all connected in a very, very shorter world, and the ultra secure communication that it happens and the complex system simulation, more is the data, more is the complexity. So how do we even go about it and take the decisions which we think that this is not something which is solvable? So quantum computing, one of the most complicated, one of the most challenging fields, is going to be another zone where people will take a plunge into R&D. It doesn't make the computers faster, because we already know that the computers are pretty fast. AI has come in and that has made a change. But has there been something which is unsolvable, and can I solve that? That is where the quantum advanced computing takes a shape. This has been one of the zones. The next zone that comes as a part is one of my personal favorites, is neuroscience, psychology, and the human behavior. What has it got to do with it? With the technology, with the social media, with the kind of an impact in the society, with the kind of the generation and the way that it is coming up and the priorities that it is taking, with the way the interactive media is playing a vital role in all our lives, the next revolution is how do we even go ahead to have a behavioral economics? Because we all studied about behavior, we studied economics in a different zone. But is there something called as a behavioral economics? And what is this decision making process and the decision science around it? This is where it might go ahead, and I'm sure each one of you would have already heard about the kind of experiments Elon Musk is actually doing with a chip in the brain, and also to ensure that even without me communicating to any other person, they get to know what am I actually thinking. So that kind of a brain computer interfaces is going to definitely take a shape in next decade. This is one of the contemporary research areas. And obviously the next wave is also the kind of mental health technologies, because today lot of people, unlike, I'm sure most of us will be able to align and understand what am I going to say this, we never had the kind of problems as stress, anxiety, depression, and the mental health issues, learning disabilities to this extent in the last, compared to the last 3 decades or even before that. Why is this happening? What is it really impacting the coming up generations? Because I personally have witnessed so many different problems in the last 1 decade, which was never heard as such. So the mental health technologies is definitely going to take a plunge on how do we even utilize the technology to human psyche, and what is the kind of a productivity that we would want to impact with, and what is the kind of a revolution that it will come in understanding the human mind. Have we understood human mind? Partially, yes. But can we even connect the neuroscience, neurobiology, and psychology together? Because neurobiology is more to do with the brain and the life skills part of it, and that is going to be one of the brilliant zones. I can vouch for it that the R&D will be at a different level altogether in this zone. But last but not the least, the social sciences, ethics, and policy research. Well, all of us speak about corruption, all of us speak about integrity, all of us speak about ethics. But can technology even relate and impact ethics? The tech ethics and the responsible innovation, whatever I innovate, will it be able to make a difference in a positive angle in the society and the community? That is the social sciences, ethics, and the policy research. And what is the future of the work research that we are going to have in the industry as a part of it? And all these aspects can be in the various different zones, and it can be interdisciplinary, interconnected domains and sectors. At last is a digital governance and inclusion, because we have heard of cybersecurity, we have heard of the so many different varieties of the crime that happens across, from the forensics per se, digital forensics, and the cybersecurity today is one of the innovative areas. That is where the digital governance comes, and the inclusion part of different organizations, different from the geographic locations, will be a part of inclusion, because today it is not necessarily the crime happens here and it is from here only. Somebody can sit in European country and the crime can happen in any other part of the country, any part of the world. So can there be a digital governance across the world coming up as a part of a blanket to say that all the countries will sign off, and this is a kind of an inclusivity? This is going to be a social science, ethics, and the policy research. People will definitely take a plunge, and every technological breakthrough and which is happening or which has happened until now, it creates a kind of a social question before it creates any value. So before it creates a value, we always feel that, okay, what are the cons of it rather than the positives of it? This has been one of the areas where people will have to focus and research on how do we even hold or provide the solutions with. I repeat, these all the frontiers have been one of the such a vital and significant areas in the next decade that is going to impact to a very, very great extent. What this means for the future growth, all that I would say is, I personally say this to every student of mine, think interdisciplinary, because it's no more, the world is not working in different silo zones. Ask ask who does this change, not just does this work. Don't even question that does this work, because the world is complex, minds are complex. The way that we look forward should be in bits and pieces and with a clarity and with mindfulness. This is where the interdisciplinary makes a lot of change. You can connect to various different zones, and that is where the life of the next R&D will also hold. But last but not the least, I would want to leave all the participants and everybody out over here with the thought that the future doesn't belong to those who predict it, but those who research it responsibly, build it ethically, and scale it wisely. I repeat, it is not about predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is all done and dusted. So 5 years ago, there was diagnostic analysis, there was predictive analytics, there was prescriptive analytics. Data science has already emerged into it. It does not belong to, nobody will be surprised when you say that I am somebody who can predict it and I am a predictive analyst. The world is not surprised about it. But if your research can be in a very responsible direction, which can make an impact for just not a bunch of people, but for the entire community and the society, if you can build it ethically, and if you also can go ahead one step forward to say that I can scale it wisely, this is where the researchers make a huge difference. And all the academicians, because I personally connect to each one of you because you have a brilliant opportunity, we have a brilliant opportunity to impact thousands and thousands of students. Please think it wisely. I'll be more than happy to share this information with you. So impact, create an impact, influence people, inspire them, and take it forward, just not with your research, but if you can take forward this information to 1,000 other people, you never know how can we even make an impact. And with that note, thank you so much for such a brilliant opportunity. I hope I value added and made you reflect and to think that, yeah, this can be done. And if any one of you would have felt that my effort is worth it, and wishing you a great evening ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a stunning presentation. Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was a wow.
Uh,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How can I stop this? Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I now welcome our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Nagarajan. Dr. Nagarajan earned his PhD in CSIR NCL along with Cardiff University, South Wales, United Kingdom. He has been a visiting scientist at University of California, Berkeley, USA, and worked in Advanced Light Source, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, and postdoctoral fellow at University of Heidelberg, Germany. He has delivered its own invited talks at national and international levels, has been resource person in various academic events, and has delivered 16 talks on Malavia Mission Teacher Training Program for young faculties on research methodologies at various universities. To his credit, he is having 36 publications, 7 book chapters, and 1 book with 583 citations, with 14 H index and 19 I-10 index. He served in various capacities, including head of the Department of Chemistry and Associate Dean for Research and Consultancy. Presently, he serves as Assistant Professor in the Department of Chemistry at National Institute of Technology, NIT, Manipur. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Nagarajan, to deliver the valedictory address.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. I thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity to talk in front of this young research minds. So I'll directly go inside my talk. So from research to recognition, how to increase the visibility of your work is the title which I'm going to present. So all the research scholars who have already started doing research and started publishing paper, so that's not the end of the your journey. You have to promote your research in such a way that you will get a lot of citations, because whole world is running behind the numbers. So for that, we need some tools for understanding how to promote our research in various research platforms. So for that, I will just start with what is the position of India in terms of scientific publications. So if you look at this particular slide, you know that we are currently holding third position in terms of research publication, and we are contributing to 5.3% in the global share. We already surpassed Germany, Japan, United Kingdom, like first world countries. Even though our infrastructure, which I'm going to show in the next slide, is relatively lower when compared to topmost countries. In fact, when we consider the funding which we are spending for the research is quite lower when compared to the first world countries. Say, for example, if you consider the United States, China, Japan, Germany, South Korea, France, they are ahead of us. In fact, United States is almost 10 times higher than us in terms of funding. But still we could achieve third position in terms of publication. Okay, so how to improve even further? So that's what we are going to see. It's a small idea of conveying the people how it is very important. So you all know that when you publish, first of all, you have to choose Scopus-based publications, Scopus indexed journals or Web of Science indexed journals. So just in a very brief, I'm saying that if it is Scopus-based journal, it is run by the company Elsevier and the measuring parameter is site score, whereas the Web of Science run by a Clarivate Analytics company and the measuring parameter is impact factor. So we should not get mixed with these two. If it is Scopus indexed alone, we should not talk about its impact factor because site score is the proper relevant data for measuring it. So you all know that higher the site score, higher the impact factor, greater the journal is. So usually it is calculated based on total number of citations received by the journal, received by the entire journal in the particular duration of time, divided by total number of articles published in the journal. That decides the impact factor. So if a new journal is launched, for Web of Science, it takes 2 years to fix the impact factor. And for Scopus, it takes 4 years to fix the impact factor because site score normally decides after 4 years of duration, whereas impact factor decides after 2 years. If the journal is really good, it can be both indexed in Scopus based as well as Web of Science based. So that particular journal will have both site score and the impact factor. Okay. So with this, keeping in that mind, we have to see what are the strategies to increase our citation. See, when we publish in good impact factor and good site score, that is not the end of the research idea. So we have to promote our research like how people are promoting their products. Okay, so there are many effective ways to promote our academic citations. So we can publish in open access journal. But the problem with open access journal is most of the open access journals are having a APC, that is article processing charges. So we can avoid those journals and we can publish some other open access journals. Then we can go to promote your work via social media and academic blogs. This is what we are going to concentrate more on today. And a little bit on cite your own previous research when it is relevant. Okay. Then present your papers at conferences. This is quite a traditional method. Then you can put a keyword in such a way that your search engines can actually predict your paper in a first place. So this is very important. Okay, so let's see. So due to the time constraint, I'm only discussing 5 important research portals, or else I usually discuss 9, but I'll just touch it. So Google Scholar Citation, ResearchGate, ORCID ID with one ID or IRINS ID, both are same. And at last, researchid.co. Okay, fine. So as an academician, as a researcher, everyone will have a Google Scholar Citation page. If not, you can open this. So just by giving your login ID details, it would be best if you try with your Chrome ID, Chrome web browser, so that your Gmail ID will be the login ID for this, so that every time you don't need to put separate username password for it. Okay, fine. Then, in fact, ma'am introduced me by saying that 580 citations, I have crossed 580 citations. I have got a H-index of 14, I-10 index of 19. So I'm going to explain what is H-index and I-10 index. So this will be definitely useful for researchers. Say, for example, if a person or a researcher with an H-index value of 14, so which means what? At least 14 papers in his or her publication have crossed the 14 citations. Okay. If H-index is 5, then at least 5 papers would have crossed 5 citations. Okay, this is H-index definition. I'll just time to time, I have already opened to save the time. So I'm just showing this. Okay. So I have got my site, Google Scholar page. So H index is 14, right? So when I scroll down, exactly, I can stop here in this paper. I can say that this is my 14th paper because my H index is 14 and my 15th paper got only 14 citation. When this particular paper will get one more citation, then my H index will become 15. So this is my 14th paper. I know that. And we have also seen item index 19. So I'll come to that part here in the slide. So you can see item index is a measuring parameter where if the publication crossed 10 citations or not crossing or just touched the 10 citations, then it will be counted as item index. Say for example, let's see some example here. See, I have given one example here. So this person has got item index of 10. Item index of 6. How? The first paper got 102, second paper got 85, 70, 50, 12, then sixth paper got 10, whereas seventh paper is only 9 citations, right? So for this person, the item index is 6. Okay. So in my case, it is showing 19, right? So when I directly scroll down and I can tell you this is my 19th paper because my 19th paper crossed 10 citation or touched 10 citation. I'm waiting for this paper to become 10 so that it will become 20 in my item index scale. Okay. So these two are important measuring parameter. So higher this H index value, higher the item index value, greater the researcher would be. Okay, fine. So I'll go back to the slide part. Okay, so I have explained you two parameters which is given here. And I'm also going to tell how to improve the H index and item index values. Say, for example, you have got 14 publications. Okay, and you have got citations like given in the slide 84, 20, 19. It goes on like this. Okay, so your H index value is 8. So if you are writing your 15th paper, you can actually cite your own paper if it is relevant. So you can always choose your 8th paper, 9th paper, so that your H index value moving from 8 to 9. Okay. In case if you are writing more than 5-6 papers, so what you can actually do is you can cite your previous papers like your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th paper so that all papers 1 citations will be increased. So the overall H index value will become 10. So in fact, if you are citing your paper, topmost paper, the 84 will become 85, but it will not actually impact in the H index or item index value, but it will increase the overall citation. So it's a kind of a tool where you can play around with the numbers so that it will every time when you write a paper, when you cite your own research, your H index value, item index value will improve. Okay, fine. So this is what we have showed here. Okay, so there are many other parameters like every year how many citations are there, year-wise citations are there. Then you can add your co-authors to this list so that your co-authors, if you are adding some co-author to your list, your profile will be visible to them. In case if they are adding you as a co-author, then whoever visits their profile, your profile also will be visible in the co-authors list, so that you will get more and more citations because more and more people are actually looking at your research. Okay, then let me move on to ResearchGate, the next one. Okay, so this is another platform which I already opened and logged in so that I can directly explain. Say when I'm following somebody's research, so in the ResearchGate page, so it will come in the profile. Okay, so it can be my colleague, it can be my collaborator, or it can be a known researcher living in abroad. So whatever it may be. So I'm just following it so that their recent research profile are visible to me. The interesting thing here is I can download their paper in a form of PDF. So if they upload their research in the form of PDF, I can actually directly download it, which means what? If I put my own research, say for example, if I put my own research and every time when I upload all the PDF files, people without even asking me, they can download and they can cite your research. So which basically improves the lot number of citations. Okay. So when I scroll down my research profile, all the papers I have given PDF file, that's why it is showing downloaded. Okay. So it also actually talks about your affiliations, like previous one, current one, then your skills and expertise. So basically by adding the skills also, you can attract many people. People will actually go through your profile in a more precisely way. And moreover, I have linked my ORCID ID with this ResearchGate ID. So if all the IDs are interconnected with each other, by simply looking at my research ID, they also got my ORCID ID. So I'll explain why ORCID ID is very important in the next slide. So, but we'll discuss first this. So you can actually follow some labs, or you can follow individuals, or you can follow your advisors. You can also follow some paper wise, like journal wise, you can follow. So like that, if say for example, all your papers are published in Nature, you can actually follow the Nature journal, so that whatever the research Nature published, it will also display in the homepage. Okay, fine. Then you can analyze how you are getting points, various points in this forum. See, my research point is 322.1, out of which 56.35 comes from citation, 10.4 come from recommendations, 14% come from full text reads. So like that, it goes on. So totally 6,789 people read my articles, and it is close to 14 in the last week alone. So like that, it is displaying the numbers. Okay. Then there is a following list. Then there is a saved list. All those things are available. Okay. Then I'll move on to the next one, ORCID ID, which I already told about it a little bit. So I have opened that ID also here. Okay. So it's basically a unique 16-digit number given to every researcher who opens this ORCID ID. So this 16-digit number, which is given here also, it will be definitely useful for every researcher, because most of the editors right now, they are asking this, please provide the ORCID ID informations like that. So you have to provide the ORCID ID. So for that, you need to register and you need to open it. Okay, so there is a sign in and register option is here. So you can actually do it, and you can create an ID. And so basically, since I'm working in NIT, it is coming under the Institute of National Importance. So that is mentioned here. And I have got my Web of Science ID also, that is called Researcher ID. So please don't confuse with Research ID and Researcher ID. Research ID is, which I'm going to show in the last slide, whereas Researcher ID is Web of Science ID. Okay. So how we can create Web of Science ID as well as Scopus ID? It's simple. When you publish a paper which is either indexed in Web of Science or Scopus, then automatically an ID will be created in your name. Okay. So you can identify it by simply typing your name, last name, how it is in the publication, you have to type it. Then you can put your affiliation and you can find out your ID. So it's a unique 11-digit ID for Scopus, and for Web of Science, it is some alphabet followed by four-digit hyphen another 4-digit. So probably it is 2012 year, and before that some numbers. Okay, random number will be given to you. This is also a unique ID. When you click this ID, it will directly take you to my page. So similarly, you can also create Researcher ID. Another name is Web of Science ID. So you cannot actually create once you publish in Web of Science based indexed journals or Scopus based, it will automatically create. Okay. So, but for ORCID ID, there is no publication needed. You can actually create it, and whenever you submit a paper, you can always provide this 16-digit ORCID ID to the editor, so that it will be displayed in your research paper also. Okay, fine. Then I'll move on to the next one, with one ID or IRINS ID. So it has got two names. So I have already opened this. So for that, institutional login is very important. For remaining IDs, institutional login is not needed. Only for Google Scholar citation, for verification purpose, institutional ID is needed. But for ResearchGate and for ORCID, institutional affiliation is not needed. But for IRINS or Vidwan ID, it is compulsory. Okay, so it actually first opens with the NIT Manipur ID. I'm just showing. It actually says how many faculties are there, how many total number of publications come from this institute, how many total number of patents, and it is also talking about journal articles. Out of 1,745, 1,080 is from journal article. Then conference proceedings are like 403, book chapters are 125. Like this, it actually split and gives the information. And total number of citations received by all the 61 faculties in this 1,745 publication is 17,264. Okay, and it actually shows various departments. So let me click the chemistry department. I'll show the individual profile, how it looks like. It gives a lot of information. I'll explain to you. So let me go to my profile. So first of all, it actually talks about your personal information, expertise information, experience, educational qualification, all the things you have to upload. And it is also showing your affiliation followed by publication year wise. Okay, so I have got 10 publication in 2024, which is showing here. And total details are here, like how many journal article, how many book chapter, how many conference proceedings. So I have to add a few projects and a few book chapters along with this, and citation details are given, but the citation parameters are different in different categories. Say for example, if it is Scopus based, then only Scopus indexed journal citation will be displayed, and hence it actually differs from the Google Scholar citation. So you don't need to worry about it. Each one is a measuring parameter, no issues. Okay, see, this is actually Google Scholar. Whatever you have seen in the Google Scholar, this is displayed here. Whereas this may be from a different measuring parameter because citation also increased, H index also increased. So maybe it's a different measuring parameter, but it actually talks about my journal only. And the interesting parameter here is my co-authors list. It is 263 people are there. So starting from my PhD, my postdoc, my visiting scientist, all those things, this much people I have collaborated with. And it is year-wise basically. So for example, if I want to see only 2024, so I can remove all the tick marks for the different. Every time when I remove the tick mark, the graph changed differently, right? The graph changed and it only talks about 2024 collaborators. Okay, so I can go to any individual person's ID and it will show along with that person how I collaborated, how many co-authors are there, all this informations will be displayed. Okay, so I can just include 2025 alone, the graphs looks completely different. Okay, fine. So what are the other informations here? So my qualifications, my awards, my doctoral thesis guided, my membership in professional bodies, my projects, and comes the interesting things. Publication. When I scroll down, you can see the title, authors, whether it's a book chapter or a journal article, all those informations are there. Okay, this is quite normal from everywhere. But when I scroll down, it will give some other information. Okay, so when you take this particular paper, there is no indication here. But when I take this paper, there is an indication here, right? So when I go to that particular indication, it is saying that posted by one X user. Okay, which means what? One of the author probably might shared this in the Twitter and hence it is showed here. See, in IRINS page, it is basically interconnected with the link which we posted. Okay, so you can see the color. Okay, you can see this particular color. When I scroll down, it will also show for Facebook. Okay, so this is also Twitter. Okay, X user. So this is blue color, right? This is Facebook. In fact, this particular journal link I shared in Facebook when I published this in 2014. Still, this is indicating here. Imagine this paper contains 10 author or 20 author. If all the 20 authors shared this in their Facebook page, Twitter page, LinkedIn page, so every time it will indicate here. Okay, so it will show on right now it is showing one person shared the link in Facebook, but if all the people shared, this number will be like big in number. So this actually talks about how interconnected all this social media as well as these academic blogs are. Okay, fine. So I'll move on to the last ID, that is research ID. Okay. So when you open the research ID, when you share this research ID with someone else, it is like you are sharing the entire information about you. I will show how it is. See, you have given your name, mobile number, you have chosen a photo, you put your affiliations, then you put your academic staff or a research scientist or something, position, then your research interest. Since I'm a chemist, I put material science, spectroscopy, biochemistry as my second, third, fourth area. And see, this is very important part. Academic and social links. I have put my 11-digit Scopus author ID here, my 16-digit ORCID ID here, my Google Scholar link here, my ResearchGate link here, my Web of Science ID link here, my Vidwan ID, I mean IRINS link here, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Facebook, my institutional personal web page, one. Whereas if I am affiliated with one more institution, say I'm a visiting professor of some United States university, if they give some link to me in their website, I can put that link also here. So if someone wants to see your entire profile, they can actually come to your research ID, and if they come to this particular position, they can take any link and they can paste it and find about you. Okay, fine. This is quite interesting. I have submitted 2 projects and I'm looking for some research associate in the future. So I'm waiting for the results to come. In case if it is accepted for funding, then I'll upload the abstract part here, and I will mention I'm looking for a research associate. So it's a kind of modern advertising. Instead of giving in the newspaper traditional way, I'm giving it in this research ID, so that any individual who are willing to apply with me, so they can approach by reading the abstract. If it's suitable to them, they can definitely refer to me. Fine. So project details and all, I already put, I have to upload few more details here. So when I just click this, it will also give so much informations, like top cited journals. Then it will also talk about what are the Scopus based journals. So different types of same my publication only, but it will create in such a way that top cited journal, recently published journal, like that. So I'll just scroll down at bottom and I'll show you. So this is a recent scholar publication, most cited scholar publication. Okay, project details, but it should be citation wise, Scopus publication. Okay, so these are all there, and see with near my photo, whatever the ID which I have created and linked, all the IDs are shown here. Okay, so it LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Web of Science, all the things are there. So you can basically create such IDs, and you can develop the by uploading all your research details, grant, project details, everything, so that you can increase the collaborators and you can increase the citations. So with this, I acknowledge Professor Dr. Art Ganesan, Conference Chair and Chief Pattern. And I also thank the entire team for this great event. I thank all the participants for all the 3 days who participated and grasped a lot of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nagarajan. It was very informative, lots of new information. So it is very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would now like to invite the conference chair, Professor Dr. Ganesan, to share the excerpts of this 3-day international conference.
Just a minute. A pleasant evening to all. We are now come to the verge of closing our three-day international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management, and arts, ICCRESMA 2026, which has been successfully completed with numerous deliberations in terms of keynote address, valedictory keynote address, session chairing, paper presentations, and participation across the nation and globe. I intend to place that conference attendance in the capacity as conference chair and chief patron of ICCRESMA 2026 and founder chairman and presidium chair of National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, NFED, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India. The present three-day international conference has exhibited 23 keynote addresses delivered by international keynote speakers from Nigeria, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, South Africa, and Singapore, and national keynote speakers from various states and union territories of India, namely Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, and Manipur, respectively. The keynote speakers of this international conference included renowned academicians and entrepreneurs and professionals across the world. An important aspect of this international conference is that it has given enormous importance to women, which includes our conference director, conference convener, co-conveners, associate conveners, and maximum men academicians as organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, and session chairs, respectively. Also, the majority of the abstract authors, paper presenters, and participants to ICCRESMA 2026 are women. This clearly indicates our NFED's focus on empowering women at all spheres and regards them as the potential workforce for nation building and global socioeconomic transformation. When you come to this paper presentation, there are three main tracks we focus. That is, one is track 1, Science, Engineering and Technology, SCT track. Track 2, Management, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, MEI track. And track 3, Arts and Humanities, AHU track. So the entire, out of this, all the put together tracks has given a lot of disciplines under these tracks, which comprise of 47 streams under these tracks, which are indicated below. That is, I can say the SCT track has 25 streams, and which includes computer science and engineering, IT, electrical and electronics engineering, and electronics and communication engineering, civil engineering, automobile engineering, textile technology, design studies, energy studies, mathematics, statistics, physics, chemistry, computer science, computer applications, geology, earth sciences, geophysics, botany, zoology, microbiology, biotechnology, biochemistry, pharmacology, and environmental science, which included 71 presentations, 71 paper presentations. Under the MEI track, there are 8 streams. That is, one is entrepreneurship development, organizational behavior, human resource management, finance, marketing, commerce, economics, and general management, which included 40 paper presentations. Under the AHU track, that is Arts and Humanities track, there are 14 streams, which included communication studies, English literature, general education, public administration, sociology, social work, general law, criminology, victimology, women's studies, psychology, home science, special education, and history, which included 24 presentations. So totally, out of these 3 tracks, we had around 135 presentations, which have been scheduled and distributed across the aforesaid tracks, which are chaired and moderated by 20 session chairs from different states of India, namely from Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Punjab, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, and Manipur. So out of which, out of 135 presentations, we have completed 114 online presentations until now, till 3, which has been completed successfully, which covers a striking rate of 84.44%, which is one of the remarkable achievements of our 3-day online international conference. The e-proceedings covered 80 abstract submissions from different tracks and different streams. A total of 220 participants registered in this international conference. The international keynote speakers and participants included from 7 countries. It is Nigeria, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, South Africa, Singapore, and Israel. The national keynote speakers and participants of this international conference has covered 22 states: Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Goa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Punjab, Haryana, West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Manipur. And 4 union territories, that is Puducherry, Delhi, Chandigarh, and Jammu and Kashmir, out of which India's 28 states and 18 territories, which constitute around 72.22% of India's representation across its length and breadth, which is a landmark achievement of this conference. And NFED can take a utmost pride on this. The research presentations have provided adequate knowledge sharing and intellectual enrichment. The keynote addresses by various international and national speakers have highlighted the research innovations and upcoming challenges through addressing community development through local self-governance, ethical policies and implications for generative AI, new research focus on societal harmony, global restructuring through academia, spoken language in classrooms, holistic innovation for bridging prosperity, importance of entrepreneurial ecosystems, sustainable development for global prosperity, sustainable business practices, harmonizing humanities in higher education through musicality, education 4.0 with AI, mental health and well-being in globalized society, medical humanities integration for effective clinical practices, holistic approach for innovative research, synergy of industry and academia and research-driven innovation for a holistic global future, sustainable environment through green construction, cybersecurity in the age of AI, importance of AI for global restructuring, and research visibility and recognition, smart agriculture using technology innovation, and lastly, reshaping industries and societies through new vistas in research. So I am sure with all this deliberation, the scientific researches, technological innovations, management processes, artistic approaches, and humanistic views have provided better insights about the global happenings through this international conference, ICCRESMA 2026. Also, the research deliberations are truly intellectual and indispensable to global community for fostering the sustenance and inclusive growth. This knowledge sharing platform paves the way for a holistic global restructuring and transformation towards addressing various research innovation endeavors. Also, this international conference has reinvigorated our research potential through updating knowledge transformation through righteous research contributions towards achieving socio-economic development and overall prosperity. So I think the conference has created a platform for holistic learning to all the academicians, to have the deliberations, to have the interactions, and the papers in various disciplines, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary avenues have given a lot of insights, I think. And rightly pointed by Dr. Pratima, that this is not an end and it has to be continued. And the research is a way forward. And whatever the new innovations are waiting for us to adopt and to adapt, will move on, we'll on forever. With this note, I extend my hearty congratulations to Dr. Ramya Kandavel, Conference Director and Patron of ICCRESMA 2026, and Executive Chairman and Director of NFED for our indomitable efforts in meticulously conducting and successfully hosting this 3-day international conference to become a historical success. I express my sincere thanks to Mr. Justin Kumar, Technical Head and Youth Facilitator of NFED, for his continuous support in organizing this virtual international conference. I heartily wish all success to the conference convener, conference co-conveners, organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, international national keynote speakers, session chairs, abstract authors, paper presenters, and participants of this 3-day international conference. I wish them all success and Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for the elaborate excerpts. I can see all the comments in the chat box. Thank you everyone for all the comments. So maybe so if there is any feedback, any inputs you want to share, participants, you can unmute yourself. We can hear the feedback for a few seconds, few minutes. You can see all in the chat box. It was all a wonderful experience. Thank you everyone. Pavitra, Satish, Bhaskar, Smita ma'am, Jehuraju, Jairaj. Thank you everyone. Any comments from the participants? Participants can unmute themselves. So on behalf of the Presidium of NFED, I express my sincere thanks to our conference chair and chief patron, Honorable Chairman Karmavir Maharatna, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, for successfully organizing and hosting this international conference. I wholeheartedly thank the conference convener, Professor Dr. V. Sunita, conference co-conveners, Associate Professor Dr. Suvadarshini, Professor Dr. Darshana, Assistant Professor Dr. Subbalakshmi for the support to this three-day international conference. I express my hearty thanks to all the honorable all the honorable international keynote speakers, the national keynote speakers, and the distinguished valedictory speakers for their benign presence and enlivening keynote address. I express my profound gratitude to all the session chairs from different states of India for their invaluable time and scholarly services. I heartily thank all the organizing secretaries, committee members, and facilitators of NFED for their continuous support in successfully conducting this three-day international conference. And our sincere thanks to all the authors and research scholars from various academia and organizations for submitting their research contributions to this international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management, and arts. And finally, we thank the media and friends for their constant encouragement and support for publicizing ICCRESMA 2026 across the networks and groups.
I think Mausa want to say something.
Yes. Before concluding with the national anthem, anything, Mr. Musab, you raised a hand. You want to give any comment?
Okay, my name is Musab Muhammad Bello.
Okay.
A student from Shoalnim University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, India.
Okay.
So I like to sincerely thank the organizers and speakers for the successful conduct of this international conference. It is very vital and it's an honor to be a participant in this vital international conference. And we really appreciate for this effort and privilege that we have been given to be in the attendance, and we have learned a lot. So wish you the best. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Musab. Thank you so much. Anyone else wants to share? You can unmute yourself, please. Okay, so we'll conclude with the national anthem. Sir, you want to say something, sir? Professor?
Nothing. Do well with your research work. That's what we always say. Be attentive, and a presentation, and we have it's an observation from all of us, all the organizers. The session chairs are also having this sort of a deliberation. You want to express that you all to be on time in presentation and to be ready. In the next conference, we'll try to meet. I think we'll all keep up the professional rigor and ethics. Jai Hind.
Okay, now let us all rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Tha- Thank you, everyone. We are concluding the sessions. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhaskar. Thank you.
It has been a wonderful experience to be a part of this conference, ma'am. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank
you. Thank you for organizing this conference.
you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.